Good evening, everybody.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
We got a few folks online, so you're all reading the directions. You know that you are required to show your face. We need first and last name. You are not allowed to not show your face. So we don't care if you're not feeling cute. It's all good. None of us are feeling cute at the end of the day unless we've refreshed, and most of us haven't been able to take the time to do that. So 5 o'clock shadows are welcome. No makeup is welcome. Sweatpants are optional. Snacking on some food is okay, but you must show your face. Audra Plummer, we cannot see your face. In order for you to get CE credit. Jean's iPhone. Jean, I saw you on here twice, one with a face and one without a face. But they're both you, right? Okay, I can't hear you, but I'm assuming that that's correct. Devin is showing her pretty face because she's not taking this for CE credit. She'll be watching all of you get up, leave, pay attention, fall asleep, nudge you, zap your chair, do whatever we have to do to keep you engaged so that we can get through this. Sound good? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Susan Brown. I'm going to adjust my chair over here so you can see me a little better. I'm the recently former team leader of the Buckhead office. I'm rolling into a new position with the Rawls Group. I have been a productivity coach. I have been a team leader or some form of leadership in Keller Williams for the last 16 years. And most of that as in a team leader role. So I'm going to be kicking off Ignite with you tonight. And I will be finishing up Ignite with you on the very last day. So I'm kind of your bookends. So I like it when we are unmuted. So feel free to unmute. Just make sure that if you do and there's some background noise, go ahead and keep you on mute. But it's weird to talk to a camera with no voices, no noises, no nothing. It's hard to get energy. So I came into the training room. Hopefully that'll give me a little bit of energy and you guys will be fully engaged during this time. So we do have a notice that I have to read to you. We read it before all Ignite training classes in order for you to get CE credit. And then we're going to go through some ground rules. That sound good? All right, so I'm going to read just straight from this because that's what's required of me. Notice to students, Outfront Education is approved by the Georgia Real Estate Commission to offer sales, pre-license, broker pre-license, post-license, and continuing education courses. The school code is 6333 and the renewal date is December 31st, 2020. And the school policies are located on our website at outfronteducation.com. This program meets the requirement of the Georgia Real Estate Commission for the 25-hour Georgia Real Estate License post-license course or 33 hours of continuing education credit. That's 33 total hours. So if you're getting post-license credit, it's 25 for post-license plus 8 additional hours of CE credit. In order to receive credit for this course, you must, this isn't a suggestion, you must be on time and present for the entire 36 hours of instruction. Once the instructor begins, you will not be allowed in the classroom. Your completion information will be electronically transmitted to the Georgia Real Estate Commission via their online course completion portal at the end of the course upon successful completion. Entrance qualifications and standards of completion will not be based on a student's race, color, sex, religion, national origin, familial status, or handicap. Prohibition of recruiting. No recruiting for employment opportunities for any real estate brokerage firm is allowed in this class or on the school premises, including recruiting to Keller Williams. Any effort to recruit by anyone should be reported promptly to the Director of Outfront Education at 770-474-2322 or to the Georgia Real Estate Commission at 404-656-3916. International Tower Suite 1000, 229 Peachtree Street Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30303. 1605. Thank you and enjoy the class. Any questions about that? You know, if you can hit your space bar and speak, and then release your space bar and go back to on mute, so you don't have to mute and unmute. Okay, so Lewis, if you are going to be late, it is totally okay if you miss a class. And according to Outfront Education rules, you can miss 2 classes and still get your full CE credit, but only 2. So because we're doing a class on Tuesday and a class on Thursday, we're covering 2 classes on Saturday. So if we're covering 2 classes on Saturday and y'all miss a Saturday, you've missed your 2 classes. You follow me? Say yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. If you guys are on the phone with somebody else, that's going to be a problem. You have to be paying attention in order to get the CE credit. We're required to record and photograph the screenshots of you all. So want to make sure y'all get credit and that you understand. All right, so everybody understands that you have to have first and last name. Do we have everybody's first and last name? It looks like we do. Ron, I don't know who Ron is, and Bonnie, we need a last name. Ron and Bonnie, can you add your last name so that we can give you CE credit? Don't see anybody else. If anybody sees anybody else that we're missing. Ben Haas, you're gonna have to show your face, honey, if you want CE credits. Everybody has to show their face.
Susan, it's
Don't
Stacy.
care what you look like. It's all good.
Ben Haas is simply auditing. He hasn't even taken his.
So while we
test
go through
yet.
this, we're going to go through a roll call list. Devin, will you take roll for, I'll call them off and then you will just type their name down somewhere, because I think we might have some people on the call that aren't on our roster. So I just want to make sure that we've got everybody, that all things cross-pollinate. So Shariel Pickron, tell us who you are and what office you're in and how long you've been in real estate. And did I pronounce your name properly?
It's actually Sherelle, but it's close. It's okay.
We cannot hear you.
It's Sherelle.
Sherelle, we cannot hear you.
I can hear her.
I can hear her.
You're not muted. Try again.
Fine. I can hear her.
Everyone can hear her.
Mute yours.
I can hear her.
Am
Can
I
you hear
muted?
me?
Oh, you know what? My computer might be muted. Try it again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It was my computer. All right. Sorry about that. Tell us what office you're in and how long you've been in real estate.
So my name is Sherelle Pickron. I've been in real estate like a month now, and I'm actually with the Peachtree Road office.
Oh, good. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Welcome. All right. I'm just going to go across the top of my screen. Carol Brody. Tell us how long you've been in real estate and which office you're with.
I am with the Atlanta Perimeter office and I've been in real estate, 3 weeks now, I guess?
Good for you. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
Great office. All right.
Yes.
Olga Navarez.
Hi, yeah, my name is Olga. I am with the Perimeter, Keller Williams Perimeter, and I've been in real estate for the last, 3-4 weeks.
Oh, congratulations. Good. I was
Yep.
at the perimeter office for 4 years, so y'all are family.
Thank you.
Ben Haas.
I'm just auditing.
You're just auditing the class? Okay, are you
Yes.
are you the same Ben Haas that's with Kathy and Bill?
Yes.
Oh, good to have you. Good to have you. Tell your
Thank
folks
you.
I said hi.
I will.
I'm gonna say her name. Keith.
Caretha. It's like Aretha Franklin, but a C.
I like that. You've been in real estate, Caretha.
I've been in real estate for a couple weeks as well, and I am with the Smyrna/Douglasville office.
Oh, very good. CC Osborne.
Mhm.
Good human. Good, good. Happy to have you. All right. Donnie Fox.
Hello, I'm Donnie Fox. I'm just getting started in real estate. Have just really been doing it here for about a week or so. And I am with the Providence Group out of the Keller Williams Perimeter Atlanta office.
Claxon John.
That's
Good
correct.
folks. Clax is one of the best humans on the planet. He give you the shirt off his back. Good for you. You're with a good man. All right, Sean Battles.
Hey, I'm Sean Battles. I'm with the Peachtree Road office, and I've been had my license since the beginning of the year, and then my full-time job got busy due to COVID, and I'm just jumping back into it.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you, Sean. Welcome.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Bevins, I'm going to mess your name up. Bevins Gabriel. Pronounce your name for me.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Bivens.
Bevins.
Yeah, and I've been in real estate for like 1 month, and I'm with this city site, Douglasville, and that's it.
Very good. Nice to meet you, Bevins.
Thank you.
All right, Jacqueline Mcneil.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Mcneil, and I've been with real estate about a week now. So I'm just getting my feet wet, and I am at the Peachtree Road location. I'm actually there right now. So.
Oh, good. Very good. We're at Buckhead.
Yeah.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you. All right, RJ Baston.
Hey, my name is RJ Bastone. I'm just got my license about a month ago and just recently joined the Keller Williams Peachtree Road office.
Very good. Happy to have you, RJ.
Thank you.
All right, Zandra.
Hi, I got my license in October and I'm with Peachtree Road.
Good. We got a bunch of folks from Peachtree Road. Welcome, welcome. Tiara. Is that your bed or is that your queen chair behind you? That's gorgeous.
My bed.
Should have said queen chair.
Queen chair.
Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiara Berry. I joined back in March, actually a week before the pandemic, and I have been in real estate ever since.
Well, welcome, welcome. And she's with our office.
Yes.
All right, Jennifer Hughes.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hughes. I am with the Buckhead office, and I joined about the beginning of October.
Great. Happy to have you, Jennifer. Ashley Mitchell.
Couldn't find the unmute button. Hi, Susan. I joined the Buckhead office at the beginning of the year, so I'm kind of getting a late start, but I'm on it now. So
happy you are. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Good, good. Glad you're here. All right, Nikita Smith.
Hello, Keller Williams family. My name is Nikita Smith. I joined the Keller Williams Buckhead office in October. So yeah.
We got a little row of Buckhead going on.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. All right, Shelby.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelby. I got my license in July and I'm with Keller Williams Cityside.
Very good. Say your last name for me.
Chilamuna.
Chilamuna.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Ashley. Ashley Witt.
Hi. I have been with Keller Williams Buckhead since October.
Happy to have you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Izzy.
Hi, I've been in real estate for about 6 months and I'm with the Keller Williams Buckhead office.
Happy to have you, Izzy. Good to see you. Priscilla.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Priscilla, and I have been in real estate for about a month and a half now in the city side office.
Very good. Nice to have you, Priscilla. Anthony Crawford.
Hi, I am with the Keller Williams Atlanta perimeter office, and I've been with them since about October.
Good, good for you. Well, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Brittany Cockrell, did I say your last name right?
You did. I am with the Peachtree Road office and I have had my license a month.
Good for you. Congratulations. Welcome. All right, Candace.
Hi, my name is Candice Eubanks. I've been licensed since November 12th, and I've been with the Atlanta perimeter office since then.
Great. All right, Keisha. You're gonna have to say your last name for me. Lestegues.
Lestage.
Lestage.
It's French.
Beautiful name. Beautiful name. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
How long have you had your license?
I actually received it right before COVID, and then I kind of got lost in the mix of the pandemic. Yeah. So I just signed up with Keller Williams City Side 2 weeks ago.
Good.
That was CC Jill.
We're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you did it. There's never a better time to learn real estate than in the middle of something hard, because you won't pick up any bad habits. So it's good. All right, Christine Smith. You got a name like me, Brown, Smith, they're all good. Easy,
right.
Easy name.
I've been in real estate about 6 months now, and I'm with the Smyrna office, City Side.
Nice to have you, Christine.
Thank you.
All right, Kieran, and your name's cut off as Abraham.
Yes, Kieran Abraham.
Nice to meet you, Kieran.
Same here. He said, been licensed in September and signed on with CC at Smyrna City Side.
City Side. That's what we used to, I was at City Side too for a while. City Side. You guys still say that over there? Like,
well, I haven't heard. I haven't been around that long. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you. All right. Who else am I missing? Let me go down the list. I've changed pages, but now my faces have changed. I don't like that it does that. Do you guys like that it does that? Who am I missing? Bonnie Friedrich. I don't think we've gotten you yet, have we?
We haven't, and you nailed my last name. That's perfectly correct. So that's a shock. Usually people mess it up. But Bonnie, I'm with the Keller Williams Peachtree Road office in town, Brookhaven. And hey to all my fellow Peachtree Road people out there. Good to see you. We've been pushing at the newbies, so I'm psyched to be here and really learn more. It's nice to meet everybody.
Happy to have you. Very happy to have you. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks.
All right, Zahid, is it Zahid or Zahed Khan? Did I say that right?
Zahed Khan.
Zahed, close.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Zahed.
Nice to meet you. I'm with for about a month, and I'm out of the Keller Williams in Atlanta perimeter.
Oh, good. Very good. Nice to have you.
Thanks.
Luis Mayorga. Sound like a boxer. It's a good boxer name. We can't hear you, Luis. Space bar. Hit the space bar. Try that. No, can't hear you now.
On my computer, you have to hold the space bar down to speak.
Just continue to hold it, hold it down. No, I can see your mouth moving, so I know you're talking, unless you have laryngitis.
He doesn't show that he's muted though.
He doesn't show that he's muted. So I tell you what, Louis, put it in the chat box so we can meet you. Good to meet you. All right, Tristan Brown, my cousin.
Hello, good evening. I'm Tristan. I've been licensed for about a month now, and I'm at Keller Williams City Side.
Nice to have you, Tristan.
You as well.
Audra Plummer. Audra, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yep.
All right, it's Audra. I'm out of the Peachtree Road office, and I've been licensed for right about a month.
Good for you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Looks like Lewis got his license today.
Wow.
What? He gets the newbie award. That's amazing. And he's in Ignite day one.
Good habits.
Your hair's about to blow up, but it's all good. Just
Good
stay with
habits.
us. We'll get you going. Good job. Good job. All right. Enid, did we do you? Enid Bunting?
Hi, I'm with Buckhead office and I've had my license, I think, was it June or July?
That's about right. Yep.
Mhm.
Glad you're with us, Enid.
Thank you.
Happy to get to know you better. All right, Amy Eller.
I am Amy Eller. I've had my license about a month, just like everyone else, and I'm with Keller Williams Cityside.
Welcome. Happy to have you, Amy. All right, Carol Brody. Did we do you, Carol? They're all starting to get munched back up. It's moving everywhere. So Olga Navarez, did we do you?
Yes, I already did it.
Okay, Ron Smith. We haven't had you on here yet, have we?
Good evening. My name is Ron Smith, and I've been with Keller Williams Buckhead for about a month.
Happy to have you, Ron. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Virginia Sisk. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, I've been with the Peachtree Road office since October, late October.
Great. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Layla Holloman.
Hi, Susan. Hi, everybody. I've been in real estate since last month, and I'm with the Peachtree Road office.
Very good. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. We've got, who else? Jean's iPhone. Who's Jean's iPhone? We're still trying to get you here. We can't hear a word you're saying. Do you have your phone? Does it go to a earpiece? No, I don't know. Type it in the chat for us. We can't hear a word you're saying. You can see you moving, your mouth moving, but can't see it. All right, who did I miss? Selena Davis, did we do you?
Nope, no, I'm Selena. I'm with the Atlanta Perimeter office with the Providence Group, and I've had my license for about a month.
Great, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, did we miss anybody? It's very important that we get everybody. Just for the sake of cross-qualifying, make sure everybody's registered. If you're not registered, we need to get you registered. If you think you might not want to take it for CE, but you might want to take it for CE and you're not sure, please sign up with us anyway, because if you're going to be in this class, you may as well get CE credit for it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if you've been licensed a week, a day, a month, 6 months, just get the CE credit knocked out of the way. Your post-license credit is due after a year, and after a year, if you've already got that under your belt, it goes towards your other required.
Hey, Susan, I was missed.
Who was missed? Who was talking?
Janet Benford.
Oh, hey, Janet. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been in real estate 3 years, but I'm new to the Georgia market, and I'm with the Keller Williams Atlanta Perimeter office. Been there for about 2 months.
Nice. Happy to have you. How long did you sell real estate before?
3 years. So I'm licensed in Tennessee, so I have reciprocity here in Georgia.
Nice. Do you live in Tennessee full time, or did you move to Georgia?
I'm transmuting between both right now. So I'm here in Georgia now for a few months, and then I'll go back.
Figuring it out. Yeah,
trying to grow 2 markets at the same time.
Yeah, that's tough, but it's possible, but it's a lot of hard work. So we'll get that done. All right, good. Did I miss anybody else?
Susan,
Yeah.
I was asking about, I was going to type it, how do they know they signed up for CE, and you just explained that to them.
So if you went, somebody had a question, how do you know if you've signed up for CE? If you went online and paid for it via our link, you signed up for CE and you will get CE credit for it. If you didn't pay for it and would like to pay for it, put your name in the chat, and Devin or I will reach out to you after class and send you that link so you can go ahead and get paid for it and get your CE credit. Okay. How many of you, in the class by showing raising of hands. Oh, and we've got Natalie Tulloch here. She's auditing the class, but she's an agent in our office on our ALC. And she wants to learn Ignite well enough to one day teach Ignite. So that's why she's sitting in the class. So y'all can't see her, but she's sitting right here and she's real cute. Okay. Tanika Johnson. Nice to meet you, Tanika. Happy to have you. All right. So I think we have some people missing that signed up that aren't on the call. So I just want to make sure everybody has that. And we'll resend the link out and send out the recording so everyone can see it. So we're all good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Do y'all have your materials? Did y'all get the big old fat book from your team leaders or your offices? Looks like this. If you did not get it, you can download it online. It is a bit hard to follow along with that. Picking yours up tomorrow. Okay, good. Today is not that much of a class where there'll be as much note taking. But if you go to mykw.kw.com, click education, it will take you to the Keller Williams page where all of our education stuff lives. Type in the search bar Ignite, and the Ignite course will come up. And when you do that, let me see if I can show that with you. Hold on just a sec.
I just sent the link for the event right to the group chat.
Oh, thank you very much. Y'all see that?
I just sent it to one person.
Got it. Hold on. I hate when it does this. It can't open another tab. There we go. So we're gonna go.
Send the link to everyone.
No, I want to show them something. So when you log into mykw.kw.com, this comes up. You can click right here to the education tab. And I'm only going to show this probably once because I won't be teaching again. So make sure you see this. And then on the search bar up here, you're going to hit the search bar, type in the word Ignite, and it will bring up the course. When you see the course, click course materials. And then up here, there's course information, materials, e-learning, reviews, etc. Click materials. And here's all your student files right here. Now notice the ones that say Canada, FR, those are in French. So unless you read French, don't click those. You have to scroll down here to the student versions down here. But what I really want you to see is there's a script book here. There's a buyer presentation. There's a buyer needs analysis questionnaire. There's all kinds of stuff. And there's a really great thing in here called the Toolkit. And it's French, that's not the right one. Let me go down here. Ignite Toolkit right here. 4.1 docs. If you click on this, it will give you a Word document that you can manipulate. And in the toolkit, everything that we talk about in our Ignite course will be in this class. Now it's going to make me download all this other stuff. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to do it, but you'll see it. Oh, God, I hate when it does that. So we're just going to share. Stop share. There we go. So did y'all see that? So it's a great place for you to download the toolkit. It's like 80 pages worth of helps and documents and systems and tools. Whenever you have a problem in your business, I want you to go to that space and I want you to find out what system that you're missing, because almost always when you have a challenge or a problem in your business, it's lack of people, lack of systems, or lack of knowledge, one or the other, right? So we're going to make sure that we do that. The next thing I'd like to talk about before we get too much further in is what your expectations are. What would you all like to get out of this 12 course, or 36-hour course. What do you want to get out of Ignite this? And if you've not taken it before, typically it's systems, knowledge, but what else? What do you want to get out of it? Hit your space bar. Don't all talk at once. You're going to be best friends here real soon. So
confidence and knowledge.
Confidence and knowledge. That's great. Good job. That was Anthony that said that?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I like that, Anthony. Good. What else do you want to get?
Structure.
Structure, for sure. Good
Layla
job.
says how to generate leads and build business.
Layla says how to generate leads and build business. Thank you, Devin.
You're welcome.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Knowledge and skills.
Yes, skills. Absolutely.
Direction.
Direction. Where to start, right? Where to go, what to do after what. Yep. What else?
How to prepare for 2021.
How to prepare for 2021. Good direction. Absolutely. What else? Anything else? All right, so I want you guys to promise me that whatever you said out loud tonight, that it gets fulfilled by the end of class. I'll be with you again on the last day. So, and I'll be with you for the last 2 classes. So all Saturday, the 19th, I think it is, I'll be with you guys. And if you didn't get it in the days of class, I'll give it to you that day. Because I'm going to make a personal promise that by the time you get done with this Ignite class, that you know what to do. How many of you, by putting it in the text box, have a outside full-time job that you would like to get out of? Just put a me in the text box. 1, 2, 3, 4 so far, 5, 6, 7. It's a lot of you, a lot of you. So, which is why we offered the evening Saturday class, is to do that. And I'm assuming those of you that said me would like to drop your full-time job and get into full-time real estate, right? So the way we do that is we're tired, but we're motivated. Yes, you are. I don't even know how you do it, working a full-time job and still find the energy. But I will tell you this, I have helped a lot of people in my 20 years in real estate get out of full-time jobs and into full-time real estate. And the way they do it is by carving out time that they're committed to holding the line to, and being in real estate those carved out hours. So for instance, if you said that you were going to be in real estate and you wanted to do it full time, and the only time you could give to yourself was to work real estate on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 5 to 8:30 p.m. and then one of the weekend days, either all day Saturday or all day Sunday. You can do it. It's going to be hard. You're going to need some leverage, and you're going to need some people that help you. And perhaps there might even be people in this class that are in your same office that could help you. And they can do things for you in the day while you're at work. Maybe they have a night job and you can do things for them in the evening and trade off and help each other out that way. But it can be done. The goal is to find a schedule that works, stick to it, and then every penny you make selling real estate needs to go into, after you buy yourself something cute, something little and cute, but cute. And then you need to take that money and put it in a savings account until you have about 3 to 6 months. And because we're in a pandemic, I would suggest 6 months of living expenses. Being in a pandemic has not slowed down real estate at all. It did for about 30 days, if that, yeah. And then it just blew up all over again. People need to move, and they still need to move, and leases are still expiring. People are still losing jobs and losing their homes and finding themselves in different situations, getting divorced, getting married, all kinds of things that require new real estate. And so it's still happening, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic. So don't think that because it's COVID, that's an excuse to not do it. You can still do it during COVID. As a matter of fact, it's probably the best time to do it is during COVID, because you're not going to pick up anybody else's bad habits. So I'm committed to helping y'all do that. All right, so if you've got a book, I'm not one of these people that goes through the book page by page. If I was going to do that, I'd just give you the book and tell you to go home and read it, and we'd call it a day. The way this is going to work, you're going to see me tonight, and all throughout the rest of the course, you're going to see different trainers that are going to pop up on your screen. Some of them are team leaders from your offices. Some of them are agents from your offices, top producers in your offices, or staff members in your offices. And they're going to come and train you every night, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday and Thursday class starts at 5:30. Saturday, it starts at 9 a.m. and it goes till 3:30. We have 2 classes on Saturday, so there'll be 2 times. I said 2 times. You like that? You're tired, I'm tired, we're all tired. 2 times on Saturday that we'll have 2 different breaks in between classes, and we'll try and take a 10-minute break during our 3-hour classes, just so that you can go get up, answer the phone, feed your dog, do whatever you got to do, and come right back to class. And I'll try and keep them as engaging as we possibly can. I'm going to give you my phone number right now, and just because I'm the one that kind of spurred this particular Ignite class off, I'm going to invite you, even though you're not in my office, if you have a question about Ignite, about a contract, about anything, you are welcome to call me. I am going to steer you back to the people in your office. I am not your leader in the office, but I want to give you, because I know what's going on at Ignite, I want to give you a phone number so that you have somebody to reach out to. So my phone number, if I say it weird, you'll remember it forever, I hope, but it's 678-8484-678. If I say it weird, it's easy to remember. You'll never forget it. All right, 678-8484-678. So if you need me for anything, keep me on speed dial, text me, call me, whatever you need. And obviously do the same with your productivity coaches. We all have the same broker, Lynn LaCroix, or your compliance broker in your office. Keep everybody on speed dial. No one should go out in real estate alone. And for God's sakes, don't write a contract by yourself without somebody looking over your shoulder, because we can't fix it after everybody signed it. And if some unsuspecting new agent writes an offer, we're in big trouble, okay? Because that's going to put you and your client at risk. So make sure that you're letting somebody know when you're writing an offer, so we can get you the proper help and the proper guidance. Deal? Thumbs up? Deal? Everybody hear me? All right. All right, so in your books, we're going to talk about the business that you're in. Tell me what business you think you're in, realtors. Unmute
The
yourself.
relationship business.
Relationship business. Good answer. What else?
Service.
Service business. Good answer. What else?
Marketing.
Marketing. Good job. Yeah.
Education.
Sales.
Education. What'd you say, Nikita?
Sales, the business of sales.
Yeah. Anybody else? So all great answers. Pardon me?
It was Tanika, she said it was. Consultant.
Consultant, yeah. All great answers. And there's one main answer that nobody said, and it's on page 8.
People.
Number 1, you're in the lead generation business. That's it. You're in the lead generation business, because without leads, y'all don't have any business, right? And when you do have leads, once you've worked all those leads, then you're out of business again until you get more what? Leads. I see your mouths. Yep. Exactly. You need more leads. You are in the lead generation business. And I know some of you are already rolling your eyes going, oh my God, I never got in this business to generate leads. I'm not a salesperson. I don't even like salespeople. I hang up the phone on salespeople. This is not what I wanted to do. I am not in the lead generation business. Yet you all went and got a license, and right underneath your name on your license, what does it say? Broker. Broker. Not yet.
Mine does.
Realtor.
Doesn't say realtor.
Salesperson.
Salesperson. And then they go, but I don't want to be a salesperson, right? Now you're all shaking your head, yeah. But yet we were all went and got a license to be a salesperson. So what the heck were we thinking, right? If you don't want to lead generate and you don't want to be a salesperson, you're in the wrong business. And I'll just tell you that now. And I'll tell you that in love, real estate's not for everybody. And it's okay. You don't need to be in real estate. We all watch a lot of TV, and there's a lot of HGTV going on out there, and a lot of America's Next Greatest Real Estate Agent or whatever, selling New York or whatever, and they make it look like they show 3 houses, make 2 phone calls, and they win $60,000. Isn't it that easy? And it's not even close to that easy, right? You can ask all your real estate friends when the last time they had $100,000 day was, and most of them are going to tell you they've never had $100,000 day. And shockingly, you're going to also find out that most realtors have never even had $100,000 month, let alone $100,000 year. The average real estate professional makes $22,000 a year. Can I get a wahoo? Wahoo! I'm going to get a license to do something I don't want to do, and I'm going to make $22,000 a year, right? You all excited about that? You ready to turn me off yet? So the reality is, unless we start with some really solid habits, we're never going to build a business. And if you all want to be a business owner, which I assume you do, which is why you all raised your hand and said, I want to be an entrepreneur and get my license, then we've got to do something about that, which means we've got to build a real estate business. So one of the first things I like to do with, I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to, where's my whiteboard? It usually pops up here. Hold on. Well, let me just minimize all this. Oh, good Lord, it came back up. Do all this stuff. No. Oh my God. Get rid of all this. Huh? You know how to get the whiteboard on?
I can try it.
No, I don't know.
Actually, wait, where is? Oh, I think it's, you have to move that on.
Did I click the wrong one? Maybe it's the keyboard one. Sorry, guys, hang on. Just bear with me just a second.
Do you know the productivity coach for Cityside?
No.
Okay.
I lost my mouse now.
So let's, oh, I was
No. Oh, good. Well, I was going to show you. So we're just going to write it out separately. I won't be fancy and share my screen. I'll work on it on the break. So one of the things I like to do with brand new agents is go through this exercise. If you were to pay somebody, how many of you want to make at least $100,000 in your first year? It's common. Probably every hand is going to go up, right? Most people want to make $100,000 a year or more in real estate. Yet most people make $20,000 a year in real estate, right? So what's the differentiator in there? I believe it's because people don't treat this business like a business. They treat this business like I'll just see what shows up, and it's a great part-time job. And if I make $10,000, $12,000 additional to my regular job, it's worth it. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's great. Do it, and do it to the best of your ability. But most people get into this role because they have a passion for real estate and they want to make some serious money, right? So if you want to make money, then you got to treat your business like a business. So let's pretend, let's all kind of fantasize for a second, that we were going to pay somebody $100,000. Get out your checkbooks right now, and we're going to write a check for $100,000, and we're going to pay somebody to run your real estate business for a year, just 1 year, and you're going to give them their salary in advance. What do you expect from that person in the first year?
Consistency.
Consistency. Go into detail about that, Izzy. What does consistency mean?
Showing up every day, pretty much.
Showing up every day, or at least showing up to the schedule that they created or you created with them, right?
Right.
What else?
Someone who's organized, meet deadlines.
Organized, meet deadlines, yeah. What else?
Yeah, treat the business very seriously, like very professional.
Yeah.
It should deserve $100,000.
No yelling at people, no getting mad at my clients or the agents on the other side. We're all going to be friends, right? What else?
Someone who's committed.
Say that again.
Committed.
Committed, for sure, committed.
Detail oriented.
Detail oriented. How detail oriented do they need to be?
Extremely detailed oriented.
Maybe, or they need to pay somebody out of their $100,000, someone who's more detail oriented than they are. Agree? You're not paying any more money, right? But that you're paying them to watch the details, without a doubt. Good job. Who else? What else?
Well, if it's a lead generation business, then they better be generating leads.
There you go. Like that answer, Donnie. Good job.
Someone who's going to do the work.
Say that again.
They generate leads in the listings and hopefully sell some property.
That's right. Hopefully sell some property. If I'm paying $100,000, they better be selling a lot of property, right? I'm not taking a loss at the end of the year. We're not going to have that person is going to be unemployed at the end of the year, right? If they didn't do that, right? All right. What else? What else do you expect from this person? $100,000.
Someone who's going to do the work without having to be told to do it. Someone who can get results.
So a self-starter.
Yep.
Results oriented and focused. Yep. Good job, Janet. What else?
I think the person's going to have to be able to multitask as well, because they could be working on one project and they need to know exactly where they were when they were started the second project, or vice versa.
They're going to have to be able to do more than one thing at a time, right? Or focus on more than one thing at a time. Maybe not do more than one thing at a time, but at least be able to focus on it. Good. What else? Reliable. Good, Bonnie. Absolutely. What else?
Analytical. Problem solver.
Problem solver, analytical. Yep. Jacqueline, what were you going to say?
I said personable.
Personable. They've got to be likable, right? If you're not likable, I'm sorry, but nobody wants to do business with you. Have you ever had a bad sales experience? Right? Anthony, I need to see your picture. I need to see you. All right. Anything else you want to add to that list?
Knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable. Yeah.
Anthony said trustful and integrity.
Trustful and integrity. Absolutely. Yeah.
Organized and disciplined.
Organized and disciplined. Yeah. Good job. Anything else? That's a good list. That's a real good list. So here's what I want you to do. Hopefully you wrote some of that down or all of that down. I want you to go be that person if you want to make $100,000. You can't expect to pay someone $100,000 and make this big, long list of expectations. And then you say, I want to go make $100,000 a year and show up like a $22,000 a year agent. Make sense? This is why realtors don't do better in the real estate industry, because they don't want to do the work. It's hard. But I promise you, if you started a new job today, started a new business, opening a restaurant, how often would you be expected to show up at that restaurant?
Every day.
There you go. If you started a trash picking up business and trash got picked up every Tuesday and Thursday, and you didn't feel good on Thursday, what would happen on Thursday? You're going to call all your people and say, I'm sorry, I can't service your trash today. You're going to what? You're going to go to work. Call to complain. Who are you going to call to complain? You can call yourself. Yeah, you have to show up to do it. So guys, the truth of the matter is real estate the best business you could ever be in your entire life. You can make the most money in the least amount of time for the least amount of risk, which is why so many people get the real estate license. It's also one of the hardest jobs that you're ever going to do for the next couple of years until you get it off the ground, just like it would be any other business, whether you opened up a coffee shop, a restaurant, a trash business, a tree trimming business, if you were a doctor, I don't care what business you got into, it's going to be hard to launch it and get it off the ground. So you're going to have to get commitment from yourself first, and then from those around you that love you to excuse you to be gone at weird hours of the day and making all kinds of strange decisions like, honey, I thought we were going to get a $7,000 check this week. Oh, sorry, I had to buy a washer and dryer. What? We don't even have a new washer and dryer. I know, trust me, it's business. You're going to have those difficult conversations as you get going, right? Things are going to happen, things are going to come up, and things are going to go a little wonky for a while, and that's okay. Write this down. It's messy in the middle. It's messy in the middle. Meaning that anytime you're trying to grow something, it's hard. If you were all trying to lose weight or gain weight or build muscle or whatever it is that hard? Yeah, because you got to do something you've never done or you haven't done it in a very long time, right? Same is true when you start a new business. It's hard because you're learning to do things that you've never done before, and you got to exercise things about your personality that maybe you haven't had to put to practice before, like working on Tuesday when you don't feel like it, like showing property from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. on a Saturday when you don't feel like it. But you did that so you could take Sunday off, right? So you got to figure it out, and we're here to help you do that. Sound good? So what business are we in?
Lead
Generation.
Good job. Somebody's listening. Thank you for that. It's weird talking to a flat screen. I'm just saying. And if we all want to make how much?
100,000.
100,000. We got to show up like
$100,000 salesperson.
That's right. Kevin over here said the boss. That's right. You're the boss, right? So absolutely. So we're going to start on page 9 by going through the 6 personal perspectives. One of the first things we talk about is mindset, right? And the way we conquer mindset is by committing to self-mastery. So turn to page 10 in your books. I think it's page 10. I might have a little different book than you. Self-mastery is what? Someone read that out loud, please. Unmute yourself.
Possession of great knowledge, skills, habits that make you the master of you.
That's right. Thank you, Priscilla. So the possession of great knowledge, skills, habits that make you the master of you. So self-mastery is basically skills, habits, and knowledge. Would you agree? So we're going to stretch those a little bit. So first thing we got to do is what? It says right there in your books. Number 1, we got to know what?
Your goals.
Know your goals, absolutely. So if you don't know what your goals are, circle that, dog ear that page, do whatever you're going to do, but that's your first piece of homework. You got to figure out what your goal is, right? And maybe your first goal is to cap. Your second goal is to quit your job, or maybe it's vice versa. I'm not quite sure. Maybe your first goal is to get something under contract. Your second goal is to get 5 things under contract, and then give it a deadline. Is that going to happen by Valentine's Day, by Christmas, you're gonna get something under contract. If you don't have a goal, I'd like to give you one, if you're up for it. You guys up for it?
Yep.
Get 3 things under contract before Christmas. Just scare some of you? It's the first. It's the first. Christmas is the what?
25th.
It gives you 3 weeks. You put something under contract, either a buyer broker agreement, a house under contract, or a listing. You get that 1 a week is all you need, 1 a week. And if you do what we tell you to do, I promise you can make that happen before this class is over, right? You can do it. I promise you can do it. Know your goals. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. So I remember, I think it was Audra who said they've got to be highly organized. Was that you, Audra, who said that? Highly organized?
I said detail oriented.
Detail oriented. That's what it was. See, I'm not detail oriented. You know that I highly organized and detail oriented are the same to me, not to you. So if you're like me and you're not detail oriented, then what do you need to do? I mentioned it early. What?
Leverage.
Leverage. And how do you leverage? You got to hire somebody who is. Know your strengths and know your weaknesses. If you're not detailed, and when you get somebody under contract, you're going to hire a contract to close person and just give it to them. Otherwise, you're going to what? Screw up the deal. And you're going to make the client angry because you're going to miss details, right? So you got to hire somebody who is highly detailed, right? And then number 3, somebody say that.
Know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals.
There you go. So you're going to know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. So as an example, if I'm not detail oriented, then I've got to have enough skill and knowledge in me to know what I'm looking for in a contract to close person so I can hire the right person. Otherwise, I could hire a contract to close person that says they're a contract to close person and they got less detail in their DNA than I do. And my detail is this high, for those of you that can see it, like less than an inch. I don't have any detail. So it would be frightfully scary if I hired somebody that didn't have detail, right? But because of the knowledge and I worked with somebody, I could then fulfill that in my business. Does that make sense? Good. All right, so the second thing, step 2, we're going to commit to the 80-20 principle. What's the 80-20 principle? Anybody know? Share it with me if you know.
It used to be that 20% of your results came from 80% of your activities.
80, yes.
That they used to call that the Pareto principle.
It is the Pareto principle, but it's the other way around.
Yeah, the opposite.
I said that backwards, didn't I?
So 20% of your activity will bring you 80% of your money.
Right, I think I said the opposite, yeah.
So if that's why we say if you lead generate and you really make that part of your business, and by the way, there are hundreds and hundreds of ways to lead generate. We don't care how you do it, but you have to do it. And marketing is not lead generating. Marketing is marketing. Lead generating constitutes face-to-face, voice-to-voice conversations about real estate. So it's either face-to-face or voice-to-voice. You're either actively talking to someone who's called you or you are calling them. Marketing helps people call you, but only when there's a call to action. And I'm just going to put this out there right now. Looking cute on Instagram is not a call to action for real estate. It might be a call to action, but it's a different kind of action. And we don't sell that action at Keller Williams, if you know what I'm saying. So I know a lot of people want to look cute and do a lot of photographs and whatnot, and that's okay as long as your message is consistent and the same and that it has to do with real estate. Looking cute's just part of it, right? You also don't want to throw real estate up on folks, and we'll talk about that later. But the 80-20 principle is about the bulk of the activity that you're doing brings you the most results, right? And as long as it's concentrated, You don't have to work 100 hours a week to make $100,000 a year. You just have to work consistently over time, and the results will start to pay off. The better and better you get at those things and figuring out what those things are. High achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of their natural behavior. That's moving from E to P. How many of you understand what E to P is? You understand what E to P is? So we have some great posters. We've got one across the room. I'm not going to go grab it. But E to P is basically you have a ceiling of achievement, and everybody has this in their life. If we take it all the way back down to infancy, you had a ceiling of achievement because you needed your mama to feed you. Oh, look at that. There's a little baby coming in the camera. Look how cute he is. See, he's moving to E to P himself. And then at some point, you're going to hold the bottle on your own, right? You move from E to P, and then you're going to walk on your own, and then you're going to talk on your own, and then you're going to go to school, and then you're going to graduate elementary school and go to junior high. And from junior high, you go to high school. From high school, you go to college. From college, you go get your master's. From your master's, you get your doctorate. There's always another level that you can get to in something. And I love the E to P principle, because the E to P principle applies in every single area of our life. It doesn't matter whether it's a relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a new business that you're launching. It doesn't matter if it's your spiritual relationship or your spiritual self. E to P works in everything. The E stands for entrepreneurial. So when you operate in your entrepreneurial style, you're basically doing what comes naturally, which means there's not a whole lot of effort going on to it, right? You're just doing what you do. And for some people, real estate comes very naturally, and gathering leads comes very naturally. However, what happens is you'll hit a plateau at some point. For some folks, it's one deal. They get one under contract and they get like these blinders on and they're paying attention. Oh my God, I got a deal, And they pay attention to it. It closes, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm broke, I'm out of work, I got nothing. And they got to lead generate all over again to get another deal. When you can do that consistently, you can get to 3, 4, 5 deals. For a lot of agents, it's somewhere between 7 and 10 things under contract. And that's when they start to feel like, oh my God, this isn't good. This isn't good. I'm running out of things to do. I'm running out of people to call. I'm running out of things to say. I don't know what to do to get more business, or I'm so busy that I don't have time to lead generate anymore. And so they close everything out and then they're broke again. So their income looks like their ability. It goes up, it hits a ceiling, it comes down. It goes up, it hits a ceiling, it goes down. That's true with all of us. Would you agree? So moving to P means we're going to get on purpose. And purpose stands for, I'm going to get an accountability partner. I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to look at other models and systems, what has worked for other people in the past, and what can I do differently to change my trajectory and the way that I am going to conduct business, right? So moving from E to P means if I get on purpose on something, I can now bust through that ceiling and get to the other side. And that ceiling is now my new floor. And now I've got another ceiling above me, and eventually I'll decide whether or not I want to bust through that one. Does that make sense? Is that helpful for some of you? A lot of what you're learning to do right now, most of you that are brand new or newly licensed this year, is learning how to move from E to P. You're doing what comes natural, which is get up, go to work, go home, get up, go to work, go home, and on the weekends we play. And now you've decided to throw something in the mix of that, which is start your own business. And now you've got to do what comes unnatural, which means learn what to say, how to talk to people without feeling like I'm throwing real estate up all over my friends and family. Make sense? So we're going to learn how to move from E to P. All right, step 4, we're going to make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. What does that mean? Says it right there in the box. Who wants to read that one? Somebody different.
An individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece for their action plan to develop their life.
Good job. So absolutely. So in this business, Keller Williams used to say that we're a training and consulting company cleverly disguised as a real estate franchise, right? The reason why we said that is because this industry is always changing. So I've had agents come up to me before and say, hey, I'm going to leave. Great. Where are you going to go? Why are you leaving? What are you doing? Oh, I've learned everything I need to know. Really? You've been here a year or less than a year. What do you mean you've learned everything you need to know? I've been in the industry 20 years. I don't know everything. So how did you do it? Well, I went to Ignite. Well, I teach Ignite and I still don't know there is everything there is to know. So I find it funny that people think they can take a class or two and just be done. You will never be done learning in this industry. And as long as you stay learning based, you will continue to climb and do better and service your clients better and better and better every step of the way. Your clients are going to change and grow and evolve. Technology is a great example of that. We have a lot of agents in this industry who are way behind the 8 ball in technology. They're not interested in learning it. They don't want to learn it. They don't want any part of it. And those agents, if that's you, you need to change your mind today because it's all going technology based. And in 5 years, we won't even recognize our industry. So hop on board and get really good at it and just commit to learning it. It's not scary. It's just different, right? And sometimes different feels scary, but it's not actually scary. It's just different. So hop on board. Be learning based. All right, step 5. We're going to remove your limiting beliefs. So let's just talk about them right now. What are the limiting beliefs that you have? I know there's some out there. There's some examples on this page. I don't have to be an I have to be an expert. I need to know everything before I can be valid. Does anybody feel that way? Which is why you haven't done much of anything since you got your license. Probably some of you that were licensed earlier this year feel a little bit that way. I see some nodding heads. Yeah. I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fit my life this year, right? Whether it's due to COVID or due to whatever. Anybody feel that way? Like they're not going to be able to hit their goals? Yeah, I see a few nodding heads, a couple shaking heads. Because I'm on the because I'm in the business will come to me naturally. I don't need to devote myself to hours and hours of lead generation. I don't need to do that. People are just going to come out of the woodwork and fall right in my lap. Natalie's over here saying lies from the pit of hell, right? That is not true. And if you believe that, I want to hang out with you and your friends because I've never seen that happen. It might happen for a short period of time, but it doesn't last, right? It's not a business. So let's talk about some of the other limiting beliefs you have. It's okay. It's a safe room. By the way, what's shared in this class stays in this class. So let's talk about whatever you're afraid of. Who else? Type it in the chat box or just raise your hand or talk.
What you talked about in the very beginning about being the salesperson. I'm that person that when you go to, like, say, to buy a car, I don't like the high pressured sale. And so I'm worried about coming across as trying to be that high pressured person.
Awesome, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing that. A lot of people are afraid of that. And here's what I'm going to share with you. You won't be that person ever because it's not in your DNA. People who have it in their DNA, they'll be that person. You won't. I don't like that person either. Although I do enjoy being sold to when it's done well, even high pressure. And most of us could probably agree to the fact when you bought something that you didn't really want to buy, but you're really happy that you did. Maybe it was a house or a car or a solar system for your roof or, you know, something kooky that you didn't think about. And you went and did it and you're like, I'm actually really glad that I did that, right? And you had a positive sales experience. You don't have to worry about being something that you're not. Nobody's going to ever ask you to do that. We're just going to teach you to lead generate differently than I would for somebody who does like that approach, right? What else?
Well, I was worrying about lead generation in the sense that I am new to not only the city, but to the country. So I always figured that I was at a disadvantage because I felt like to be successful in real estate, you have to know people, you have to be able to move in circles that already exist, and I've always thought that would have been a problem for me. So hopefully finding new ways to generate leads outside of literally knowing people is something that I can achieve, and not limiting my belief.
Absolutely, you can. There was a girl, which office are you in, Candace?
I'm at Atlanta Perimeter.
There was a girl in the Atlanta Perimeter office. I'm not sure if she's still there because I've been gone for a while, so I won't say her name just in case. But she was from another country and she had that same fear. And she went out there and started networking and operating in her strengths. And I saw her years later and she was killing it. It's very, very possible and more than likely probable if you do the things that we tell you to do, which is have conversations with people. Get yourself in the way of having conversations with people. And like I said, there's hundreds of ways to do that. We're going to be teaching y'all how to do that. So good job. Thank you for sharing that. That means a lot. Who else? Natalie,
I can say,
Natalie said that there's people that have lived in Atlanta their whole lives and still feel that way. So you're not alone. You're not alone. Who started to talk? I'm sorry. You said I can say, and then I interrupted.
I was going to say, I can say that for me, one of the thoughts that keeps running through my mind is, it might be limiting, my budget might be limiting my progress. I have really, aggressive goals, but sometimes when you don't have the budget, that can kind of like say, stop your progress or make you feel like you have to have $100,000 budget to get $100,000 worth of business.
Absolutely. And thank you, Janet, for sharing that because it feels that way, but you don't need to have money to make money. That's a limiting belief. You need to have tenacity to make money. You need to have commitment to make money. You need to have conversations to make money, but you don't need to have money to make money. You could go out there and door knock and have not even a business card on your hand and make $100,000 a year. So it's not about the money. It's all about mindset. So start changing that mindset and just ask yourself this every day. All of you write this down. I would even set an alarm on your phone. Your alarm should say when it goes off, what am I going to do today to make my phone ring? Maybe even set it to some music. Like the money song. Money, 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 money.
Bonnie said sometimes I will too old, not polished or fancy enough, but that helps me help too, right?
Oh, don't say that. Is anybody else having difficulty hearing me?
No.
Really? Do I need to scoot up closer? I feel like I'm yelling. Is it better if I get closer? Ooh, is that getting better? Testing, testing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So Bonnie, you said sometimes I worry I'm too fat, too old, not polished, or fancy enough. Girlfriend, I just want to give you a hug. Don't say that about yourself. Ever, 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 ever. Have you not seen some of the...
It's true. I'm not polished. I'm not fancy. I'm a little fat and I'm old. I mean, it's all true.
No. So here's what I'm going to teach you. I want you to go look around at some of these people that are making $1 gajillion that look like those things and more. It has nothing to do with how polished you are or how fat or thin you are or how old or young you are or anything else. It has to do with, do they trust you enough to want to do business with you? Are you trustworthy? Now, if you're not trustworthy, you should get out of the business. But if you're trustworthy and people like you and you're likable, you're not going to get every person out there to do business with you. You're just not. And you don't want it. Exactly right. But what you do want is for the people that you want to be in business with you, you want to make raving fans out of those people because they're going to refer like people. I've been in real estate now for over 20 years, and I started my career in Southern California. I've worked in the mountains of Southern California. I've worked in the luxury field, the Los Angeles area of Southern California. I've worked in the suburbs, very similar to Alpharetta. I moved to the South without knowing a person. I worked in Blue Ridge. My nickname was Hollywood when I worked in Blue Ridge. They had all kinds of funny conversations about me not understanding their accent, saying things like mash the button. I still don't know what that's supposed to mean. And I got along with all of them because you just learn how to get along with people and accept them for who they are. And when you do that, they'll accept you for who you are. Don't try and be anybody but you. Okay. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And there's people out there that are waiting for a realtor like you. Don't tell yourself that. Instead, find the ones that do want to do business with you, and you'll do great. Absolutely great. Thank you for being vulnerable that way, though. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. Thanks, everybody. You're sweet. Thank you.
Look at all those kind words. Look at that.
Y'all are sweet. Thank you.
Susan, can I chime in on that?
You absolutely
I just wanted to tell her where I work right now, it's really in the country in McDonough, Georgia, and I'm not from the country. So I had that same mindset, like, oh my gosh, I'm here in the country area where it's very, very but actually I do really well at my daytime job, so I can relate to that. But it's like what I said in the comments about being relatable and about being likable to your clients is what will stand out with them.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's what it is. I'm not from around, I've lived here like 20 years, but I'm originally from New York and New Jersey. I'm not one of, I see so many like pretty Southern women, very, very, they're very different from me. And I guess I worry that I might be too abrasive, too unpolished, I'm different. And so, but you're right, there's people out there for everybody, and it's about being relatable. So
there's a lot of New Yorkers in Georgia. There's a lot of Californians here.
I'm trying to get more.
Cali girl. I'm a Cali girl.
Hey, what's your phone number?
Oh, and I see the New York Yankees hat in there.
909-818-626.
Yeah.
There you go.
3 years this month on the 7th that I've been in Georgia, so I'm super excited.
Good. I love it here. I'm never going home yet. Talk loud so they can hear you. Natalie's going to share.
One thing that you taught me in
Can you hear her? No, come up and just talk closer to you. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to.
One thing that Susan taught me in a previous Ignite class is that real estate is relationship based, and it's about building relationships. And once you establish that rapport, people are going to refer you, and they're going to be more than willing to work with you because you have a relationship. And also keep in mind that anything on TV is also very fantasized. So then that does create that intimidation factor that is so glamorous. I mean, some of these houses are gross. And they're hot and they're cold. So you don't want to always be super cute. You want to look nice, but those high heels and you're climbing up and down 5 houses, up and down the stairs. Just wanted to point that out. So
probably not safe either.
Probably not safe. So having that relationship is more important than anything. So always keep that in mind when you're building your business.
Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, so don't let your insides dictate your outsides, and don't let other people's outsides dictate your insides, right? Just let it go. Just be the best you that you can be and let everything else go. All right, and the last step is be accountable. You've got to be accountable in order to move from E to P. It's one of the first things in the list of being on purpose is you've got to be accountable. And what that means is an accountable person says everything in my life is a result of my choices and my actions. I own my life. And we have a big tendency in today's society of blaming everybody else for everything else that's going on around us. And at the end of the day, we get to make our choices. We live in a very free world, in a very free country, in our little bubble. And we get to choose what time we wake up, what time we go to bed, what we watch on TV, what we're looking at on our phone, how close we want to pay attention to something or not pay attention, who we call, who we don't call, what we eat, what we don't eat, whether we exercise or not, what we tell our kids, what we don't tell our kids. We get to choose a lot of stuff. And sometimes the choices are so abundant, we just choose not to make any. And a lot of times the lack of motivation or the lack of success is because we're not making a choice, not because we made a bad one. We just didn't make one, period. So let's just be accountable to making good choices. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Who cares? It's your business. It's your goal. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I said a goal to make $100,000 and I'm realizing how much I have to work to get there. I'm going to back that down to 60. And I'm going to be okay with that if I make 60 this year, but next year I'm making 120, right? Whatever it is, it's your goal, it's your life, it's your choice. Just be accountable to it and own the responsibility of either I did or didn't do what I needed to do in order to move myself forward. Any thoughts, comments about those 6 personal perspectives?
They're very real. In any type of business, if you apply them, for sure you will be successful. So based on what she was telling us before, my accent is very heavy, and I'm always concerned about my accent, that people will understand me. And it's kind of like one of my weakness. And I said, that's okay. Well, as long as I know what I'm doing, I can guide people to follow me and to do the things that I'm supposed to. So these 6 steps are very good for any type of business.
You're absolutely right, Olga. Where are you from originally?
I'm from South America, from Colombia.
Colombia, that's what I thought. I have a friend in Southern California from Colombia, and you speak just like her. That's great. And here's what I will tell you. There's not a lot of fluent Spanish speaking people in Atlanta. So you actually have an advantage because there's a lot of people that need your help. In Southern California, you're 4th, 5th, 6th generation Hispanic, and they don't even speak Spanish themselves. Half the Hispanic people in Southern California, they don't speak Spanish themselves. Their ancestors did, but they don't. Here, there's a lot of 1st generation, which I thought was really strange coming from SoCal to here. I noticed there's a lot of 1st generation Hispanics, and they don't speak a lot of English. So you're going to have a great little niche market there where you're going to be able to service your clients very, very well and teach them how to buy real estate and get wealthy in the US.
Great. Amen.
Great job. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, one of our agents in our office is from Russia, and she knew no one when she got into real estate a few years ago. She sells almost 100 homes a year by herself with no transaction coordinator, no showing assistant, no nothing. She does it by herself, and she closes about 96, 97 homes a year by herself. And her first language is Russian. She's a machine. Do anything you want to do. All right, so we're going to talk about the 4 skills, and I'm going to just run through them real quick, and then we'll take a quick 10-minute break. Sound good? Yep. Louis, you said you have an accent too. We never got to hear your voice, but your kids make fun of you. Let them make fun of you when you start buying them all kinds of great things. I used to tell my girls, they would say, why do you have to work so much? I said, well, you have a choice. I can either work with you sitting next to me, or I can go to work and drop you off at daycare. Which would you prefer? And they'd say, well, I want you with me. Okay, great. Then be quiet and let me take this phone call and we'll get it done. And then every day they started asking me, Mom, did you sell a house today? Yes, I did. When do we get to go to the mall? When do, do I get to buy that skateboard that I wanted? Do I get to buy that purse that I wanted? They really liked it when they were in high school, right? Because I'd have a closing and I'd go buy them all something cute. That's right. They were my own accountability. 100% they were. It was a lot of fun. So it's all good. You guys are well on your way. All right. So let's talk about skill number 1. Know your big why and your monetary goals. So your big why You're going to hear us talk a lot about this in Keller Williams. We talk about big why a lot. And your big why is basically why you do what you do, why you get up in the morning, why you decided to get into real estate. And it starts small and it gets bigger and bigger the more you ask yourself why. Have you ever heard a 2-year-old say, well, why is the sky blue? Well, because God made it that way. Well, why did God make it that way? Well, because I guess his favorite color was blue. Well, why is his favorite color blue? And you play the why game. We're going to play the why game with you right now. So we're going to talk about your big why. And your big why is you're going to ask yourself why I got into real estate. And for some of you, it's going to be, well, I want to make some money. I want to own my own business. I want to be entrepreneurial. Great. Why do you want to be entrepreneurial? Why is that important to you? Well, I always have been entrepreneurial. Okay, why have you always been entrepreneurial? And you're just going to keep asking yourself why until you can't get to anything anymore. And sometimes people can get there very quickly, and sometimes it takes them a few weeks to work through it, or you're going to have a meeting with your assistant team leader, your productivity coach, or someone to kind of get you to the bottom of it. But I promise you it will change your life when you really figure it out. Your big why should fuel why you get up in the morning and why you do what you do. And I personally don't believe, you can decide for yourself, but I personally don't believe that it's to get your kids through college or to get your kids through private school or something like that. That's a great goal. But why is it important to get your kids to college? Now we're getting somewhere, right? Well, because I didn't have that opportunity growing up, and I want to make sure that I give my kids every opportunity in life. Awesome. Why is that important, that they have every opportunity? Now you're really getting somewhere, right? Because when you get them to college, then what? You're going to quit? You're going to stop? You're just making $700,000 a year now. You're just going to quit and go, well, they're off to college, so I'm good. I don't need that $700,000 anymore. That's not going to happen. You got to figure out why it is that you're doing what you're doing and what the next thing is. When you really figure that out, once the kids are off to school, now you can take that money and use it as a tool and do a lot more with it. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so. Thoughts, comments?
Makes sense.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick little few minutes. We're going to take 5 minutes, and I want you to turn to page 21. And I want you to think about your why. Your business is thrive. So I want you to write this down. Your why is why I got into real estate. And then I want you to answer the next question. Why? Why did I get into real estate? Because I want to make a lot of money. Why? And I want you to keep doing that until you feel like you can't go back any further. And then for those of you that would like to share, I'd love for you to share that. And then we'll take a quick break. All right? You cannot leave your computer. I have to see you at all times right before we go on a break. We have to take another screenshot. So Izzy, I can't see you. I can't see your face. Zandra, I'm having a hard time seeing your face. You need to scoot up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, everybody else, I got you. Thank Olga, we need to see your face. All right, we're good. So we can get a screenshot. All right, so go ahead and start your big why exercise, and then we'll share, and then we'll take a quick break. All right, guys, how do we do? How do we do? Anybody want to share where they got? Keisha, is that you raising a hand or just stretching an arm or? Anybody want to share? Come on, I know you do.
Okay, I will.
Okay, go.
So I initially started real estate as a career path to financial freedom for me and my family. My husband is the sole breadwinner for the family, and I feel like I've lost a lot of my purpose since becoming a wife and a mother. I always knew I feel like real estate is where I should be, but I feel like my new career path ultimately will restore my empowerment and purpose, regain my independence, and set a great example for my daughter in the future.
Very good. I love that, Candace. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. So see, that's way more than just, I got to go sell a house, right? It's about taking something back inside of you. And I love that part about setting an example for your daughter, because that never ends, no matter how old they get, right? You're going to always be wanting to do that for her.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. I have 3 daughters and they're still watching me, and they're all in their 30s. They're still watching me every single day, how I handle situations and the words that come out of my mouth. So absolutely. Thank you. That was awesome.
I have one from Lewis in the chat.
All right, go ahead.
He said, I've been working in, oh, I don't think it's
Probably not. Lewis's chat. I've been working in healthcare for 14 years, and I'm trying to lower my hours in my full-time job by driving around meeting new people, and of course, to make my own schedule one day. Good job, Lewis. So why is making your own schedule one day and lowering your hours important? That's where I would go next. I would go a little deeper with that and ask yourself why that's important. And then just keep going back until you can't get back. And if you have a hard time getting there, call me, we'll work through it together, okay?
I want to I want to piggyback off of Candace. My first one I put was financial freedom because I want to leave a legacy for my son. I want to break generational poverty for not only him, but for my family. I feel like real estate will allow me to give back and to educate my community on how to acquire wealth through owning property. I want to provide financial education, and I want to teach by example by living what I hope to help others acquire. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love that. I love that. And you know, we have first-time homebuyer seminars, and there are cities with all kinds of first-time homebuyer programs that they'll offer, like a silent second. There are different loan programs where people could come in with very little money down. So talk to your lender and put yourself together a first-time homebuyer program. Who wants to buy a house for Christmas? And set one up for 2 or 3 weeks. The PowerPoint's already done for you. Everything's already done for you. All you got to do is send out the invitations. You don't even have to teach it. You invite somebody else to come teach it so you can see how it's done, and invite your guests to it, and then be the superstar because you put it on, right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So that's a way for you to lead generate and offer out to your community right from the get-go, and do those 3-4 times a year to that specific community, and then you're already fulfilling your big why in your first year, in your first month, right?
Yeah,
How cool is that?
Yep. Thank you.
That's awesome. Good. All right, anybody else want to share one more, then we'll take a break.
My why is to do something that I love doing and am good at doing, which in turn is going to give me freedom, security, control, and wealth to leave to my children. And the way that it's going to change my life is overall fulfillment and confidence in knowing that I actually went after something that I've always dreamed about. And who knows what doors will open, but whether they open or not, I'm going to open them myself.
Good for you. Don't wait for the door to be open. Just walk in, right? Just figure it out. Figure it out. Awesome. So I love this. Layla says, motivation to turn my passion into my career after working in real estate for over 12 years as an accountant, achieving fulfillment and purpose in my life is important to me and I want to help others realize their dreams. Thank you. That's awesome. I love that for you. I want you to do that too. Jean says it's a must. It's great. Virginia, be my own boss and exit corporate America. Have more control over my life and not have someone else decide what my time is worth. Amen, sister. Freedom and unlimited learning potential. That's absolutely true. That's awesome for sharing. I really appreciate that. Remember this, you can be the poorest people in the world are salespeople. And the wealthiest people in the world are salespeople. You get to choose where you fall in that. You get to choose, and it's a choice every single day. So choose wisely. Choose wisely. All right, it is 7:09. Let's just call it 7:10. We're going to take your pictures. So turn your cameras on, get in front, smile like you mean it. Fake it if you need to. We're going to take your picture, take some screenshots, and then we'll come back at 7:20 and finish up. Are you good? You get all the pictures you needed, Missy?
I didn't even start yet.
Oh, she hasn't even started yet. They're all sitting there smiling up close to their
I'm all slow, yelling. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Okay, wait, one more.
One more screen.
All right, 3, 2.
There we go.
It's yours. Yours only. So
All right, guys, we'll be back at 7:20. You can turn your cameras off, but don't be late. See you soon. All right, everybody, welcome back, welcome back. Some of you left your cameras on and we're admiring your rooms. Huron and Christine. Love that wall behind you. Did you do that yourself or have it done?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. No, my husband did it.
He's very handy.
Thank
Does he
you.
do it for a living or is that just fun for him?
Yeah, he does it for a living.
Oh, you're gonna have to put his number in the chat box.
Yeah, absolutely, will do.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Thank you.
Pretty. All right, so Tatiana wrote just before we logged off, I agree with Candace, a lot of times becoming a mother does take so much that you lose your purpose. 100% it does. I want to give my kids not only financial freedom, but my time. I want to be able to do things with my kids I wasn't able to do as a child. I want to give an example to my family that no matter how long you go in life, you can pick yourself back up and find your purpose. Oh, I love that. Really, really pretty. Love that, Tatiana. Really, really good. All right, so let's talk about the next thing. The next screenshot. Oh, yeah, everyone say cheese. I think where everybody's back. Just about everybody's back. Say cheese.
Okay. And hold on.
1, 2, 3.5.
Good. All right.
Got it?
Wait, one more.
One more.
Sorry. 1, 2. Okay.
3. Okay, we're good. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, so your monetary goal. So we got to talk about how much money you want to make, right? How many houses you want to sell. So we're going to be talking through from 13 months. So from December through the end of December next year. That's what we're going to talk about. So what is your annual monetary goal? There's a box on page 23. Go ahead and write that number in that box. That's the first part of doing any kind of goal setting is writing it down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break it down. So commission, GCI example, the average sales price is $200,000. Even though prices have gone up in Atlanta, I still like to use that number because I like to under promise and over deliver. So let's go ahead and use that $200,000. It's a nice even round $600,000 or $6,000. Some of you will discount some commission because you're new and you're going to do that just to get a deal and get your first deal on the books. And that's okay if you do that. So let's use that $6,000 as an average commission. So now you're going to take that $6,000 and you're going to get out your phones and you're going to pull up your calculator and you're going to divide your desired earnings into that. So say it's $100,000. We divide by 6,000. That means we have to do 16.66 transactions between now and the end of December. Not that hard. And that's $200,000 transactions. If we do higher numbers, you can do less transactions. So let's just call it 17 deals between now and the end of next year. If you have a higher number, then you'll have to do more. Who has a higher number than 16 or 17 transactions? And if so, share what that is. Put it in the chat.
Susan, I had a question.
Sure.
We wouldn't actually be making that though, because we would just be still doing the split, right?
Well, that's my next plan.
Okay. Okay.
So you're a little bit ahead of me, but yes. So who else? Nobody's putting anything in the chat, so I can assume nobody wants to make more than $100,000. Is that what we can assume? Okay, so here's the next thing. So you do have to pay a split. You'll have to pay a maximum. If you're making $100,000, you'll have to pay $18,000 in total. If you're in a coaching program and you pay for your coach, you'll have to factor that in. And then you have board dues, monthly dues, all those kind of things that will affect your bottom line as well. So that's a gross number. It's not a net number. And that's okay. I think it's a great first year goal to make 100 grand, even if you don't net 100 grand. The second year goal then could be net 100 grand. It's not that difficult to make $100,000. It just depends on how long it takes you to get started. And for some agents, including myself, it took me 6 months to have my first closing. And that was working about 50 hours a week, every week for 6 months. But then I closed 5. I closed 1 and then I closed 5 right away. So sometimes it just takes a while to get your engine going. But then once you get it going, it's like a freight train. It's hard to slow it down after a while. All right, let's go to, let's see. If we talk about transactions, we've already done that. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. Just know what your number is and how much you want to get. There is some exercises that if you want to go deeper with it, for all of those of you that like detail, you can do that. I think the bigger plan is what we're going to do to get to that goal. So if your goal is 16 transactions or 17 transactions to make your 100K, then we have to figure out what you're going to do to get there. So how many hours a day are you willing to lead generate? And what are you going to do to lead generate? What kinds of things are you going to do? And we're going to be talking about that in Ignite over the next couple of nights. Different ways to lead generate, where leads can come from, how to input them, how to follow up with them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So why do you think we teach Ignite 3 hours a day, 3 hours at a time? Can you get CE credit? Nope. Caritha, you're right. Why do you think we make Ignite 3 hours a day? What's your best educated guess?
You can take time to digest the information.
Good guess. Jacqueline, really good guess. Who else? So you can lead generate the rest of the day. Yeah, absolutely. So you can get used to lead generating. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Right on the nose, Tatiana. We tell you we carve out 3 hours a day for you in Ignite. And so right now we have 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Thursday, and 6 hours on Saturday. If you kept that same flow when Ignite ends and you just spend time in your business on Tuesdays, 3 hours, Thursdays, 3 hours, and all day Saturday, guess how much business you'd have at the end of a couple of months? You'd have almost as much as you need, right? Because if you're lead generating and talking to people and having conversations about real estate, and by the way, you can lead generate in between that too, but it's maybe not as on purpose about that. When we normally teach Ignite during the day, we teach it 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. And the reason why we do that is for the same thing. When it's done, now you have that block of time open in your schedule and you've already got it going. And so now it's just habitual learning, right? Pretty good. All right, so we've got a skill number 2 is that commitment to daily lead generation. So if you're gonna lead generate, you've got to commit to it, which means if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't what? Exist. You've got to put it in your calendar. So I want you to take a couple minutes to pull out your calendars, whether it's on your phone or on your computer, whatever that is. We're going to take about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. And I want you to just put in the days that you're committed. And mind you, they can move, but what it can't be is erased, meaning you can't just ignore it, right? It can move, but you can't ignore it. What you erase, you must replace. So if you take it off your calendar, you got to put it on another day. But you tell me the times that you're willing to work in real estate every week. And then I want you to immediately after this class is over, take a screenshot of that and text it to me. I want you to take a screenshot and text it to me and put your name on it because I won't have all your phone numbers in my phone. And I'm going to share it back with your team leaders and your folks because I want them to hold you accountable to the time that you say you want to work in your business. And remember, it's your business. You can do whatever you want. So there's no right or wrong to it. So get your calendars out and tell me what days you're going to work on your real estate business. Start doing it now. Number again is 678-8484-678.
Can't forget that. My emergency call now.
I made my grandkids memorize my number. We don't have phones. All right, who wants to share? Go ahead, Kieran.
Yeah, well, personally, I actually have two other businesses, believe it or not, but real estate is my third business. But with the other businesses that I do, I'm able to actually be out there and tell people about what I'm doing. So that's actually a way for me to generate leads, and it's actually worked for me already. So I actually have one property under contract because of that. And I actually have a few leads. So for me, it's basically going to be every day, because every time I'm out there, I'm, just talking to the people I'm around, people that I see, and give out my cards. And, it's been working for me thus far.
Good for you. And what you need to do is have certain days that you're going to sit home then and either return calls or do what you said you were going to do. Like if somebody said, hey, I'm looking for an investment property, you need to have time that you go home and you say, okay, I told this guy I was going to send him some property. You need to put him in the system and send him some property. And every single person, you need to come back and put them into command so that command can just follow up with them when you're not, right? Just like, yeah, good job. Good.
Yeah.
Who else wants to share?
I can share.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
So I'm actually working from home right now. So I basically, I lead generate literally all day, every day right now. So I'm basically gonna keep that up. I actually added like a credit repair service to my services. And so with that, I've just been on Facebook, Instagram, running ads, just trying to stay busy, but pretty much every day, all day.
Good job. Good job. Anybody else want to share? Okay, so
I'm sorry. In my case, I work full time, so so I'm good. I'm putting here some hours every day. Like I'm gonna try to do it some hours, maybe 2-3 days a week.
Perfect. That's all you need to do is 2-3 days a week. Truthfully, you don't need to do it 7 days a week. If you could,
but a couple hours, let's say 2 hours for 3 days a week or something like that.
if you could, even if that's all you did in the beginning, you'd be further ahead in 3 weeks than you are today. Right? You just stick to the schedule. It's consistency over time. There's a story, and I wish I could find it. I've looked for it, and I haven't been able to find it. But there's this really cool story of this old house that was built at the turn of the like 17th or 18th century, and they had a cast iron sink. Like a lot of bathtubs, remember cast iron? Used to make sinks and tubs out of cast iron. I mean, it's iron, right? It's not wood, it's not clay, it's not china, it's not aluminum. It's iron, it's a rock. And so there was water that had dripped for years and years and years out of this faucet. And the faucet was predominantly in one place. It dripped for so long that it actually made a huge indent and almost made a hole in the bottom of this cast iron sink. Water, something that you can touch, you can drink, you can put it in your body. It seems to be harmless when it's a drop, yet consistency over time penetrated a rock. So anything will work in your business if you do it consistently. Consistency is the key. Without consistency, you're hit and miss. And if you don't think that's true, I want you to think about the last advertisement that you saw on Facebook or Instagram. What was it, and did you call them? Most of us can't even remember because we're inundated with ads, right? I want you to think about the last postcard or something that you got in your mailbox to clean your carpet or go to the dentist or whatever it is that you get in the mailbox, and you looked at it and you put it in the trash. Who was it? What was their name? What deal were they offering? Almost nothing. You can't remember it, right? You can't name 10 people in your phone and what they do for a living and how much money they make and whether or not they need your business. You probably don't do business with most of the people in your phone. The people that you do business with, they also are in your phone, but they may not be in the friend zone. They're the business people, right? Your handyman, your plumber, your electrician, whatever. We just don't think about that naturally. So throwing your name out there going, hey, I'm in real estate, your friends and family are like, oh, great. And tomorrow they forgot that you even said that. So one little Instagram post or two little Facebook posts, they're not remembering who you are and what you do for a living. They're remembering you as the way they know you. Their friend, their family member, their past coworker, but they're not remembering what you do. And we've all had friends that have gone on social media and decided to get into another business, whether it's the widget selling business or the candle business or the diet weight loss program, or now I exercise when I didn't before. And now they're throwing that up all over you and you can't stand to even look at their pictures. And some of them you've even unfollowed because they're just that obnoxious. Am I right? So I'm not asking you to be that person. I'm asking you to be someone other than that person. I'm asking you to let people know you're in real estate, but don't do it to a point to where you're just obnoxious and monotonous about it. And now your friends see you coming and they're running the other way going, oh my God, here comes Susan again. Can't stand to see her, right? I want you to be their friend. The best social media and the best way to do it is to do, if they're already a friend, keep them as a friend and just remind them that you're in real estate from time to time. And a great way to lead generate with your friends is first thing you need to do is go change that message on your phone, on your cell phone, if you can, without obstructing your other job. And just say, hey, this is Susan with Keller Williams Buckhead. Of course, you're not going to say that because some of you aren't Susan and you're not with Keller Williams Buckhead, but you're going to change the message on your phone. And when your friends call and they hear that, it's going to be like, oh my God, I totally forgot they were in real estate, right? Because you're new and they don't remember that you got your license. You're going to email them and you're going to have, instead of having a footer at the bottom of your email, you're going to have a header and you're going to put, you know, hey, let's meet to go play tennis at blah, 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 blah. And that's going to be underneath your banner. So they have to scroll past it rather than put the body of the email at the top and the footer is way down here and they never scroll down to it, never see it, right? And you're going to start emailing your friends from your kw.com email address because you want them to remember that you're in real estate. And it's a very subliminal, kind way to remind people, hey, I'm selling real estate. Hey, I'm selling real estate. And every once in a while, you're going to post something on your social media about something funny that happened or something unusual that you saw or something that you're doing, you're learning, you're growing, a new designation that you got. It's going to help you with your clients. And you're not going to tell people, well, I haven't sold anything yet. When people used to ask me, how many houses have you sold? Say, I don't know, but I love my job. I was born to do this. I am having so much fun. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. And now all of a sudden they do exactly what you all just did. And they smile and you're like, oh, that's fantastic. We're so glad you love your job. You really like it. Oh my God, I love it. Yes, I love it. It's absolutely my dream job. And you might be going, I'm sucking wind. I haven't sold one thing inside. But if you tell everybody that, why are they going to do business with you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be going, I don't have any business. I need you to be my first deal. I need you. No, 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 no. You're going to act like $100,000 earner or more. Okay? So we're going to commit to daily lead generation. And what's lead generation?
Our job.
Face to face or voice to voice.
Anthony, thank you. Face to face and voice to voice contact. It's a contact sport. Without contact, there is no lead generation. It's just advertising at that point, right? So it's a skill, get in the habit of doing it. Now we talk about a lead generation funnel, and I forgot to figure out my whiteboard situation. So Let me see, hold on, I might have just figured it out. Nope, yep. Here we go. Big line. Nope, I didn't figure it out, never mind. So you see a funnel on this side, on the lead generation funnel on page 29. I like to talk about a boiling pot because I think everybody's boiled water. So for new agents, I use this analogy a lot because we've all done it. So I want you all to pretend that you are not in the real estate business, that all of a sudden you decided to get into the boiling water business. God forbid boiling water becomes a hot commodity in Atlanta, but you never know, especially in the middle of a pandemic, right? So you come to Keller Williams, the boiling water company of the world, and you say, great, here you guys can teach me how to run a boiling water business. What do I need to do? And we hand you a big old pot of water. It's this big around, it's this deep. And we say, all right, you're going to go start your business. And we give you a pot of lukewarm water. What are you going to do with that pot of water if your job is to sell boiling water? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Boil it.
Turn the fire on.
Turn the fire on. Now you turning that fire on low, you turn it on medium, you turn it on high. What are you doing? High. Right? I see y'all saying high. Yep. You're gonna turn it on high. You're gonna turn it on as high as that little sucker will go. Would y'all agree? So what we do when we boil water, you just crank it all the way up, right? And you just let it do its thing. You don't walk away and turn it off 2 seconds later and go, well, that didn't work, right? I tried boiling it. I turned the fire on, but it just didn't work. You have to turn the fire on and do what? Leave it on. Turn the fire on and leave it on. And after a while, you start to see little bubbles forming at the bottom of that pot, right? Now, is it boiling yet? Nope. It's close, but it's not boiling yet, right? So you leave it alone, let it do its thing. And before you know it, you start to see little streams of bubbles coming up. And within a few seconds after that, you're a rapid boil. Now you got something to sell, right? So you start selling water out of that pot. And what happens to your water level? It goes down, right? Naturally, it's going to go down because you're selling the water off. So if this is your business, wouldn't it make sense to have a funnel siphon system that siphoned water in at the same rate you were selling the water out of? That makes sense? They're going to dump a bucket of cold water in there? Probably not. No. Because if you dump a bucket of cold water in there, you got to do what? You got to wait for it to boil all over again, right? So if you just funnel in some warm water every once in a while, as hot as possible, you funnel that in, you can, or you trickle it in a little at a time, it gets in there with that hot water and it never stops boiling, and you can just sell water 24/7, right? Now you got a little machine, and before you know it, you got a second pot, a third pot, a fourth pot, and you're making money hand over fist and everybody's happy. Make sense? So in all reality, this is your real estate business, right?
Sorry,
That's okay.
Answer that question.
I didn't see a
How early
question.
or late? Okay, cool. My screen went off. Somebody asked how early or late is considered okay to start and end lead gen calls.
I'll get back to that. Don't let me forget. I did not see that. Thank you. So for in all reality, this is your real estate business, right? So what I want to talk about is, what's the pot? The pot is your database, right? Those are the people that live in your phone, that know you, love you, like you, trust you, and want to do business with you, right? Right?
Right.
So if you are talking to what or who is the fire?
I'm the fire.
You're the fire. You're the fire. Without lead generation, the fire is your lead generation effort. You turn that fire on high, you're lead generating at a very high level. You turn it on low, you're going to have low results. You turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. You ever going to have boiling water? Never. Because how fast do those bubbles go away? Fast.
As soon as you turn it off.
The minute you turn it off, they're gone, right? Well, the same is true with your leads. The minute you stop calling them back, they'll just pick up the phone, call somebody else. There's an old joke that says when you get pulled over in Atlanta, they don't ask you for your driver's license anymore. They ask you for your real estate license. Why? Because not everybody in Atlanta has a driver's license. Right? So you gotta do the work. You gotta show up, you gotta do the work, right? Those little bubbles at the bottom of the pot, those are leads. And what you're gonna learn, Kieran's probably figuring this out. Leads are good, but not all leads are today's leads. They're gonna come out maybe next month, 3 months, next year. Who was it that said was it Sherelle that said she has added a part of a leg of her business where she's helping folks repair credit. So she's going to have some people that are 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, which is great, but that's far. That's a big pipeline, and that's only if they do what there is required to do to get their credit score up, right? You're going to get people under contract, and guess what? They're going to fall out because they did an inspection, they found out the house had mold, or they met the neighbors next door and they can't stand them. Or they decide to get a divorce and now they need 2 houses instead of 1, or maybe, and they're not buying either of them from you, or whatever. I mean, things fall apart for a million different reasons. So what's the answer? You need a lot of them. When you have a lot of them, that's when you can start cherry picking all the hot ones off the top and going, I'm going to get these 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever under contract. And then I'm going to continue to nurture all these other ones until they become real hot and come to the top. Right? It's just a numbers game. That's all it is. It's just a numbers game. So if you continue to lead generate, I don't care how you do it. And yes, you should be talking to people every single day. And you should have times that you work in your business that are set aside so that you don't forget to do it. Or if you start to get busy and you're showing property and the first thing you'll cut out is lead generation. So you've got to always be making time for that, which is why we talk about it so much. Now, I want you to always remember that boiling pot analogy. You can't, it's just like that boiling pot. You can't turn it on and off and on and off and expect results. It has to be on and it has to stay on. It's the consistency of the heat that drives your business. Okay? So calling every session. In Ignite, we normally will call. And so I need you all to have your phones ready because you will be making some calls. Now, the good news for you is that calls around the holidays is the easiest calls you can ever make in the entire world. Because all you're doing is calling your friends and family and saying, just want to wish you a happy holidays. I want to catch up with you. I'm at work and I had about 5 minutes and I was thinking about you and just want to call and see what you're doing. They're going to say, what do you mean you're at work? What are you doing at nighttime? Oh, I didn't tell you I'm selling real estate now. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, let me ask you, do you have anybody that you refer real estate to? Do you have a real estate professional that you give all your business to? If not, I'd love to earn that business. Would that be a horrible conversation? No, I'd love to give you that opportunity. Great. How's the kids? Tell me about Bob, whatever. And then you just keep it moving, right? And then cut the conversation short after 5 or 10 minutes and call somebody else. It's so easy around the holidays because it's a great phone call to get. Everybody wants to be reached out and touched. And with COVID going on, it's even more important to be reaching out and touching people, right? Because there's no sense of normalcy. A friend of mine passed away yesterday from COVID. And it's crazy to think that, this disease or this, not disease, but virus is killing so many perfectly healthy people. So it's good to be calling and checking on your people. And it's a good excuse to just call them and check on them, right? And they're going to ask you, so how are you doing that? And it's a perfect time to let them know you're in real estate, right? I don't care where they live.
Susan.
And put them in command. Exactly right. Yes, ma'am.
My challenge is I am not much of a phone person, right? Because you're saying chat with them for like 5-10 minutes. And because I called folks so few and far in between, that when I get on the phone with them, it's not a 5-minute, 10-minute call. And part of that is my fault because I asked this question, then I asked that question, so forth and so on. So that's really when I think of my lead gen, that's what's in my head. How do I, because I feel like it's too abrupt, just calling, and also people you haven't spoken to a while, you call them, no, oh, because you want business, you're going to call me. So this thing that goes through my head, as to, somebody said you can't eliminate anybody. Just go through your contacts and call everybody, contact everybody. But again, there are folks you haven't spoken to in a hot minute. And if you look at on the phone, you don't want to just cut them off. So that's my challenge around lead gen.
That's a good challenge.
Keeping it short and sweet and reaching out to everybody and the mama.
That's a good challenge, Carol, and a lot of people have it. You're not alone. There's probably at least half the people in this audience. Natalie's been in real estate several years and she's raising her hand. And she has a lot of business, right? But here's what I want to share with you. We're going to do another exercise. So everybody pull your phones out. And I want you to go to your contacts and scroll down to the bottom. This is how the iPhone works. If you have anything other than an iPhone, I can't help you. But somebody else on the call probably can. But you're going to go to your contacts and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of your contacts, all the way to the very bottom, all the way past the Z's, right? And it's going to tell you how many contacts are in your phone. I have 2,471 contacts in my phone. How many contacts do y'all have in your phone? 450. Good, Liz. Good.
800.
40. 191. Good. Barely 100.
473.
249. Good. 308. So this is great. All right. So take that little number, and we just said $6,000 was our commission, right? So according to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, if you call expireds and for sale by owners and the have-nots, we call them, right? The people that you don't know, never met them, whatever, you can do that. But if you do that, the conversion ratios at the time that book was written is about 1 in 50. So for every 50 people that you talk to, not dial, but actually talk to, every 50 people, you're going to get 1 conversion out of that, right? Now, according to MREA, you're going to, your conversion rates for the people that you know, the people that live in your phone, your conversion rates are 1 in 6. So here's what I want you to do. Get your calculators out. And I want you to divide your database number. We can just assume your database is the people that live in your phone today. We'll start there. So divide that by 6. Get your number and then times that by 6,000. That's our average commission. And remember, we're being very conservative with that number. And then tell me what number you came up with. Christina, I saw your eyebrows go way up. 191,000, 140,000, 450,000. That's what I'm talking about. Era, 1,276,000. Look at that, $899,000. Guys, that's how much money is sitting in your phone right now. Carol, what was your number? 273. That's how many contacts you had in there? You're muted. I can't hear you. Carol, you're muted. I can't hear you. There you go.
Off my mute. Yeah, no, yeah, mine had 273 contacts, and so it's 73,000 a year.
So 70
or whatever, 73,000.
sitting in your phone right now. So if I said, Carol, if I gave you $73,000 right now, would you call everybody in your phone?
Uh-huh.
I call everybody in your phone. If I said I'm gonna give you $50,000, would you call everybody in your phone?
Uh-huh.
If I said I was gonna give you
well, yeah.
$5,000.
I guess by the 10th person, I'll get used to it. I'll be more comfortable.
You will. You just have to have a script. So you're going to hear a lot about scripts and dialogues in this class. And the whole purpose of scripts is not so that you can read a card and sound like a pushy salesperson. The whole idea about scripts is so that you know what to say when you make a call and you're comfortable. And when people ask you a question, you know how to answer the question. A lot of times people, new agents especially, will reduce their commission because they don't, in their head, they're going, no, I'm not going to reduce my commission. But out of their mouth, they're going, okay, because they don't know how to say no and not sound rude or mean or whatever. So in their head, they're saying no, but out of their mouth, they're saying yes. So they end up reducing their commission. So when we teach you a few scripts and dialogues, you'll have a few of them that you can make sound like you, and then you'll say no, but you'll say it in a way that sounds like you without coming across as mean or rude. You'll have some reasoning behind it, and it'll help you manage that. Does that make sense?
So what do you do with most of your contacts are in another state? Like I said, I'm from California, so the majority of the people on my phone
You
are.
know how many people are moving out of California right now? Because of
I'm
Governor
just saying.
They're all dying over there. They're all dying to get out of California. Half my family has moved out. Seriously, a lot of my family members are now following me to Georgia, or they've moved to Texas, or I've got somebody moving to Tennessee. And guess what? You can refer them if they're moving out. If they're not moving out, great. Ask them who they know in Georgia. If they know anybody besides you that you should know.
Okay.
Have that conversation. And the 5 people you know in Georgia, or however many it is, you need to go to them and say, who do you know that I need to know?
Okay.
100%. When I went to Big Bear, you're familiar with Big Bear, California? I never lived or worked up in Big Bear. And how I got in with the agents up there, I was recruiting. And how I got in with the agents is I just started asking people, who do you know that I know? And they started introducing, oh, you need to meet so-and-so, and you need to meet so-and-so. Oh, you need to meet their wife. They're a realtor. You should know them. Oh, thank you. And then I met the mayor, and then I got invited over to the mayor's house for a party. And then from there, I got invited to the city manager's house for a party. And before you know it, I started getting to know all the who's in town. And I was just this lonely girl that had moved back from Georgia to California, or to California. And all of a sudden I knew the whole city. And it took me about 3 months.
Okay.
To just start asking people, you'll be amazed who they introduce you to. And there's a lot of virtual networking going on right now. So I would do some virtual networking if you like face-to-face contact over the phone. Find those virtual networking groups, ask about them on social media. People will tell you, and you can get connected in them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for your condolences very much. That was very sweet of you to say so. I didn't say that other than you just never know who this terrible thing is going to attack next. It was just very sad and scary. He wasn't sick. He didn't have any symptoms. He's about my age. Him, his wife, and his son all got it at the same time. They didn't show hardly any symptoms, and he ended up in the hospital and passed yesterday after being
Oh, wow.
week. I mean, really scary. Look at all this money that lives in your phones. This is incredible. 1.3 million. Candace, can I have your phone? Have your phone. Can I just for a couple days? Just want your phone. If you're from out of state or out of the country, there's people that are investing in Atlanta right now like crazy. So please, please, please call them and find out who they know that's moving to Atlanta. You'd be amazed how many people want to invest here. I was talking to a friend last night in California, and she wants to invest here. So she wants to talk to me about that. So, and they own a lot of investment property. So who knows what that'll turn into. All right, somebody asked, what does the 6 represent? 1 in 6. So the odds are 1 in 6 people, if touched 33 times a year, and you keep in touch with them by having conversations with them, and they remember that you're in real estate, your conversion rates are 1 in 6. So the people in your phone need to be the first people that you go after, which is why we tell you call, 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 call. Make sense? All right, did I miss any other questions? There was one back up here that I missed from.
What was the one I'm trying to?
looking
Different times
for
to call.
Bonnie.
Yeah, the call times.
For those of us who work full time, she's in a school building all day. Bless you. How early late is considered okay to start and end lead gen calls? So my rule of thumb is just based on your database. Some people have databases where they're up later or up earlier. I always use the 9 to 8 rule. So I called no earlier than 9 a.m. And I think for Georgians, 8:30, 9 o'clock is probably the earliest you're going to get away with. Other parts of the country, people like in New York, they're up way earlier. California, they start their days way earlier. But here, 9 o'clock's a good rule of thumb. And then I don't like to call past 8, because if it call past 8 here, then people feel like, what's wrong? What's going on? Is there something, well, what happened? They start to get worried. So up to about 8 o'clock, I think you're pretty good, unless you text. Then you can text and say, is it too late for a call? Which I've done that multiple times, and they're like, no, by all means, call me, and then we can call and have a conversation. You never know where the conversations will go.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Did I forget anybody else's question that you asked that I missed? Okay.
There's one more, you want at the bottom.
Pardon me? They'll go over that in another day. Pardon?
Jennifer said,
What
what about the fact that people don't answer anymore?
about the fact that most people don't answer anymore? Well, a good question. So if you're calling them and they don't know who you are, this is another reason why we have you start in your database, because usually if they know you, they'll answer you. If they don't ever answer your calls, you might need a new database. No, that's just a joke. Certain age groups won't answer the phone. They're more text, so you can text them. Text is a conversation. It's a way people communicate nowadays. And a lot of times what I'll do is text and say, hey, listen, I'm so tired of seeing your name and not hearing your voice. Can we just have a phone conversation? They're like, oh, and then they'll pick up the phone and you can have a phone conversation. Whatever you need to do to have a phone conversation, but you can have one via Facebook Messenger, you can have one email, you can have one text message, but you need to have a conversation going back and forth. Just emailing them once or twice with no response is not lead gen. It's lead generation, but you're not getting a response, so it doesn't count as a contact. Does that make sense? So your homework in Ignite, and this is going to be this every single day, and you're going to be responsible for reporting in these numbers. Your homework is called the Daily 10-4. And the Daily 10-4 means that you make 10 new contacts every day. Now, for those of you that are working, you might not be able to do it every day, so you might have to make 20 the next day. Now, if you talk to somebody standing in line at the grocery store or the post office, that's a contact. If you talk to somebody in your place of business about real estate, that's a contact. If you talk to somebody on your phone who you haven't talked to in a long time, and you told them you were in real estate and they agreed to use you as their realtor, but they don't have any business, that's a contact. So that all counts as a contact. And the idea is that you make 10 a day. Now with the 10 a day, you write 10 personal note cards a day. 10 personal note cards. Now the note cards are written to the people that you talk to. If you don't have an address, shoot them an email or a text message. But it has to be something personal. And the personal note should be something like, it was great talking to you today. So good to catch up and finally hear your voice. I hope grandma feels better. I'll call next week and check on her. Let me know if you have any real estate needs in the near future. I can't wait to catch up and talk again. Let's not make it so long, Susan. And close it up or whatever. Should be 4-ish sentences. We're not talking about writing a book or a novel or writing a letter to someone you haven't talked to. It's not that. It's 10 personal note cards a day. And if you have a business card, include a couple business cards in there, one for them to keep and one for them to pass out. If you use digital business cards, then just text them your digital business card so that they have that. Or send them your contact info. Just wanted you to have my updated contact info. Love to have yours when you have time to send it. And you can request it too. Okay, so those are great ways. So 10 phone calls or conversations, 10 personal note cards, then you take those 10 people and you add them to the database. So 10 adds to the database, and then 10 home previews, and they can be virtual. Each week, I would love for you to get out of the house when you can and preview 10 properties in person. So 40 of them online, 10 of them in person. It's called the Daily 10-4, right? It's supposed to do it Monday through Friday. You all are working, so if you can't do Monday through Friday, And you have to do it in the evenings, do it all virtual, and then on Saturdays, make it part of your routine. And if you need to, go see like a new home subdivision where all the homes are vacant and they've got 2 or 3 models. Now you can bust into all of them, or you can go into the ones that they're building that they haven't locked up yet, and you can wander through those and check out the floor plans. Or go see vacant homes or available homes all in the same neighborhood, so you can just knock them out, boom, 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 and you'll be done in an hour. Super easy. You're not going, I always tell the homeowners, you can be home, please don't leave. I'm not bringing a client, I'm just previewing property. I'll be in and out in less than 5 minutes. What you're going for is you're looking to see the overall condition of the house versus the price and the amenities offered. Anthony, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. I've actually been wanting to go and view some homes for sale and some homes that are on the market. What's sort of the rule of thumbs? I know some agents require you to have an appointment or call before you show or call before you come by. So what's sort of the rule of thumb of just popping by a property?
Most vacant properties are most occupied properties are gonna want an appointment because they just want to give their seller the heads up that you're coming. And a lot of times the seller controls the lockbox. So it's appointment only, they have to put the lockbox up.
Showing.
Yes, it's okay to view a property without a buyer. I do it all the time. You just call the listing agent. Susan with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling about your property at 123 Maple Street. And I'm out previewing tomorrow and I wanted to I don't have a client with me. Your client, they don't have dirty underwear on the floor. I don't care. I'm just going to be in and out in 5 minutes. Is that okay? 90, they're going to say that's
Did you have somebody put themselves mute, please?
I think they did. I don't know who it was, but I think they did.
So Anthony, I was going to say that showing times has been useful for me, like going on showing times to view homes, like setting up with other agents. That's been helpful.
There's an app in the Supra system called Showing Time. And when you set up the e-key on your phone and Showing Time on your phone, it's really cool. You can route properties in there. There's all kinds of things that you can do with it. And I'm going to give you guys some homework of some classes to take that will also teach you how to do that. But you can request a showing, put the time in that you want to do it, and it says, I'm bringing a buyer or not bringing a buyer when you make the appointment. And they can confirm or reject it or change the time or whatever they want to do. But I just, you just be nice. The nicer you are to people out there, the more they'll want to work with you. When you're super professional and you carry yourself well and you're kind to others, when a problem arises or you have a multiple offer situation, they can go, you know what, I've never worked with Anthony, but he seems like the nicest guy. He has previewed 6 of my properties in the last couple of months. He seems to really be on it. Nobody's doing it. My clients have always said he's really, really nice. So Jean says, I really need help getting my super key. It's been tricky. Explain to me why it's been tricky.
So I tried to go online.
Yes, construction homes on FMLS and Georgia MLS. Yes.
You have to call FMLS and pay over the phone. Yeah, they directed me to another number. Like I called, I just got the runaround really. It was like, oh, you need to call this number and ask for this code. And I was like, I was just confused.
So the Superstore is part of FMLS, but it's not actually FMLS. It's its own separate entity. So when you call FMLS, they'll refer you to Supra, and then you call Supra and you actually go in and they'll download it onto your phone.
Oh, I have to actually, yeah, okay. They were saying a PIN code, a key serial number, 7 digits, an activation code. I'm like, what?
You don't have to do that.
You were online. The way I did it was inside the FMLS. There is an option to Supra, and you fill out a form, and then they will contact you. So fill out the form online, and they will contact you and give you the code. I already tested. So if you need, I can help.
Okay, I'll try that route.
Yeah, they'll call you and like walk you through downloading the app and then like typing in your key and then making sure that you actually get into the system.
Okay.
I think I just went to the whatever the Supra website was, and they just randomly called me, I think the next day, and was like, "Hey, do you have time to do it now?"
Okay.
But once you get them on the phone, it's like 5 minutes. It's super quick.
Yeah, he gave me the runaround. He was like, okay, call this number, get this key number. You need the PIN code, the original, then the one you created. You need a serial. I was like, what?
Yeah, just call your office and they'll help you do it. Look at Devin's already popped in the FMLS Super Key application. So there you go.
Okay, thank you.
This is all new to me. So thank you for sharing that, you guys. With COVID, a lot of things have changed. And so that's great. They will see you in person as well. I know because I've sent some of our agents to do it and they've met with them in person. But if you can do it online, even easier.
Yeah, I did it online. I think it was when I signed up for the FMLS or something like that. And I mean, it literally was 24 hours. You
Right.
submit the form, you pay your money, it's the following day, you got your code, and it's just for the app. It's not for the actual key thing. It's just for the app that lets you unlock the lockbox, I think it's called, whatever it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really easy, really
Okay.
easy. So use that link that Devin sent. Yeah, it's
Okay.
really good.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, awesome. All right, so skill number 3. So let's turn to page 35. We're going to use influencing sales language. And some of you are going to hate the fact that they said that. And some of you are going to like that. Yeah, just hang in there with us because we're going to help you be the best you that you can be. Up at the top where it says skill 3, using influencing language, things like, did you find everything that you were looking for? Go ahead, look around, and please let me know if I can help you. I see you admiring that large screen TV. Are you looking to have one in your home for the big game this weekend? Things like that. You're just finding ways to engage people in conversation. Those would be great scripts for somebody who is doing an open house, right? You're going to have your entrepreneurial style, or you're just going to chat up whoever happens to cross your path. Many realtors are talky people. We call them high eyes at Keller Williams, meaning that you have an influencing kind of personality and you like to have fun and laugh and you engage people and it's easy to do. And then there's purposeful conversation. And I always share this story with new agents because I think it's important. When I was a new agent, remember I told you it took me 6 months to have my first sale, and then I closed 5. Well, the next year I started off by selling a bunch, and then I went dry around summertime. And I realized what I was doing was I wasn't closing the sale. I was just taking people out, putting them in my car, driving around. If they bought something, great. If they didn't, that was fine because I didn't want to be a pushy salesperson. And I didn't know how to close the sale. So instead, my coach started working with me on how to close a sale. And so I started going around showing property. And after every home, I would say, can you see yourself living in this home? Does this home feel like home to you? And if they said yes, then I had to go further and say, is this something you'd consider writing an offer? And you'd see them get all nervous. Oh, it's getting real. I know it is, but I'm here for you. And you just talk them through it. Before you know it, you've got another one under contract. I realized that I was showing property. I was a professional home shower, but I wasn't a professional home seller. And you have to be a professional home seller in order to make money. You're not getting paid to show anybody property, right? So I want you to work on closing the sale and being more purposeful and knowing what to say and how to say it. And the scripts and dialogues that we're going to be teaching you throughout Ignite are going to help you do that. We have something in sales called the ABCs of sales. Does anybody know what the ABC stands for? Natalie does.
Always be closing.
There you go, Donnie. Absolutely right. Always be closing. You're closing first to get their buy-in to have you be their trusted advisor for real estate. Then you're closing for a referral or an appointment. And then you're closing to keep them at that appointment. And then you're closing to get them to sign an agreement with you, whether it be a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement, or get them to buy a house with you. you're constantly closing. And then once you're under contract, you're still having to close because sometimes they start to get cold feet. And you got to determine, is it cold feet and they're going to be fine, or is this a valid reason and they actually need to get out of this property and we need to go find them something else. And so you're constantly moving them down the field to the next play, right? Always be closing, ABCs. So you're going to learn influencing sales language. We're going to talk a lot about scripts. At the top of page 36, it says scripts are cool. How many of you break out in hives at the word scripts? Anybody? Raise your hand. There's 1, 2. Yeah, kind of freaked me out when I was an agent. I was like, oh, no.
No, I love them.
You like them after a while, you learn to like them. But in the beginning, it's a scary word, right? Scripts are, you all use scripts today and you don't even realize that you use them.
I
Ladies,
think without the scripts, I'd be lost.
that's right. Ladies, if your significant other sees you in a mood and walks up to you and says, what's wrong? You say, nothing, I'm fine, right? Nothing. That's a script because it's not fine, right? But you know what to say, right? When you pick up the phone, what do you say? Hello, right? That's a script. When you teach your children to say 2 special words when they want something or they've been given something, what are they?
Thank you.
Thank you and please, right? That's a script. We use scripts all the time. If you're a prayer and you say in Jesus' name, that's a script that you've learned, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just knowing what to say and how to say it and to get the result that you want. And I want you to hear that we don't care what the results are, no or yes. I'm not attached to the outcome and you shouldn't be attached to the outcome. The idea is that we're moving the ball down the field, right? That we're getting our people to where we want them to go so that we know, are they going to buy something? Are they going to list something? Or do I need to put them back in my pipeline? Or I just need to kick them to the curb because they're not serious at all. And scripts will help you do that. Yes,
Can I say
ma'am.
one thing about scripts that
Yeah.
I feel like helps
Can you
PC
come
here?
in so they can hear you better?
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys hear Devin? Here,
So
come here.
can y'all, I don't even understand.
She said,
Okay.
Natalie didn't have to stand here.
Okay, so I worked in restaurants for 18 years before I came to KW or before I got licensed. And one thing that I really hated doing was script practice and cold calling and things like that. And then I kind of realized that no matter what industry you worked in, it helped me a lot, is that you already are learning scripts all the time. So the menu is your script. And if you sell furniture, then the specs are your scripts. So when I put it into that perspective and I gave it to other agents in that perspective, it kind of boosted their confidence a little bit because you realize every job has been a script, and the scripts, that's what sales are. So I personally think to an extent, anybody could be a salesperson, but a lot of people don't want to learn the scripts. So once you learn them, then it's like the sales are right in your hand because you know what to say. And your objections, those are really important. But every agent I've met in this office, when they ask like, what's the most important thing and what would you tell a new agent, it was scripts. So
good.
That's it.
And
Thanks.
she's been licensed about a year and a half. Yeah.
Yes, since April.
So good. So that's from one newer agent to all of you. I think it's super important. Does anybody have any limiting beliefs or thought processes or whatever around scripts?
Scripts tells you exactly what to say.
They just tell you what to say. It's just how to answer a question when somebody stumps you with something and not knowing what it is. So you practice the script and you practice it in a way that it becomes internalized, and then it's no longer a script, right? It just is what it is. You just have a conversation. So we're going to get very on purpose with them. We're going to get comfortable with them. The benefits of the scripts, page 38. Somebody read the first one. Benefits
give us confidence, gives us the confidence to do our job.
Absolutely. And somebody said earlier that one of the things they wanted out of this class was confidence, right? Scripts are going to help that person, whoever that was said that. It's going to help you a lot, right? What's the next one?
They allow us to stay focused and in the present moment.
That's right. So you don't get off topic, right? You know how to answer the question and you can just keep the conversation moving. Good job. They also provide consistency to what we say and we do. With a script, you're going to say the same thing to the same people all the time. And with us being more and more of a litigious society, especially coming from a state like California or somebody in New York, very litigious society, you have to be very careful with all the laws around, what am I trying to say? What's the,
Prevalent.
oh gosh, discrimination laws, what are they?
Fair
Fair
housing.
housing. With all the fair housing laws, if you do same, equal, system around every client, they'll have a much harder time accusing you of doing any wrongdoing because you treat everybody the same, right? And you may have people from time to time shop you and try and stump you on things. So just create systems and scripts and dialogues around it, and then you know you told them, right? You know you told them because why? Because I tell everybody, and here it is in my book where I wrote it, and here it is where I emailed it to you, and this is what I do, right? It also provides you competence. So aside from confidence, it's going to give you competence, which means people are going to trust you faster. People will do business with you when they what? Trust you, right? If they don't trust you, they're going to just move on down to the next realtor on the list, right? So scripts and dialogues are going to give you that confidence so you know what to say and how to say it so that they trust you. Any questions or comments around that? No? All right, so there's some 6 steps to learning scripts on page 40. Pull down that page and memorize that or look at that whenever you're learning your script. Step 1, read it. Step 2, repeat it. Step 3, read it again. Step 4, say it. Step 5, say it, adding 1 sentence at a time. And then step 6, say the entire script. So you just add it, add a little at a time. What I like to do is read the whole thing as fast as I can, 5 times, as fast as I can, out loud, as fast as I can, and then put the paper down and try and repeat it. And then do it again, and then put the paper down and try and repeat it. And you're going to leave some words out. That's okay. Keep doing it until you don't leave words out. The biggest mistake that people make with scripts, learning scripts, is that they want to tweak them and make them their way right away. And you can't do that. You have to learn it, master it first, the way it's written, and then you can internalize it. The reason for that is there are certain things that are embedded in scripts that may cause people to think. And if you take out the wrong words or you don't do it right, you won't get the result that you want. Does that make sense? So learn the scripts, commit to learning the scripts the way they're written, and then you can internalize them and start changing it. Yes, ma'am. So yes, you can. I know you have to pick up your doctor.
They're saying it only goes till 8:15. So
It doesn't go till 8:15. It actually goes to 8:30. It's a 3-hour class, and it's 3. The time was wrong. So if that's messing with somebody's schedule, text me later and let me know. It's not 5 to 8:15. It's 5:30 to 8:30, and we take a 10-minute break. But I'll get you out of here in just a second. Sometimes we're gonna finish sooner, so I'll get you out of here as quick as I can. Any questions about any of that? Be accountable to your big why, your monetary goals, learn your scripts, find yourself an accountability partner, whether it's your spouse, somebody in this class, somebody in your office. If you're part of a team, which I know a few of you are, that'll make a big difference. On page 65, there is a family or significant other agreement. Let them know that you mean it and you're in this class and you want to take it seriously, and have them hold you accountable. All right, any questions about anything that we discussed tonight that we haven't covered?
What page?
Page 65.
Not go over everything. I told you in the beginning, I'm not that person. So what's your homework? Your daily 10-4 is what? 10
Contacts.
10 contacts, conversations about real estate every day. 10 note cards every day.
10 house views.
10 house previews every day. Yeah. And then 10,
So you do the
10 additions to your database. So the 10 people you talk to, you're going to put them in your database and put them on a plan. Right? And you guys are going to be learning about command here in the next couple of days.
And then, the scripts, are we supposed to learn the scripts as a homework?
You will start learning scripts as the class progresses. You will start learning the scripts, yes. And there's a script book in your books. There, you should have come with a little script book. If it doesn't, you can download it in that place that I showed you in the very beginning.
One question is a part of question. I want to know how you know that you're part of the team.
You know if you're part of a team, because that team hired you and you're working with them and you're sharing an office with them and you're part of a team. If you're not doing any of that, you're part of the Keller Williams team and you are on your own as an independent contractor, and we will help you grow your business. Yes, the 10 house views are online. And Jennifer, I saw that it says that. I think there was a disagreement. Some offices were saying it was 5 to 8:15. Other offices were saying it was 5:30 to 8:30. And an email went out a while back, well, last week, I think, easily missed because of the holiday, that we landed on 5:30 because some people didn't finish work until 5 or after 5 by the time they got home. So that's why we made it just a little bit later. If you have any questions, you all have my phone number, 678-848-4678. Call me, call your team leader, call your productivity coach, call somebody, get engaged. We can only help you if you're engaged. If you're not engaged, I can't help you. And yes, the class for the next 3 Saturdays is from 9 to 3:30, because we have to take a half-hour break between classes by law to give you time to eat. If you guys as a whole want to keep it moving and not take a break, take a 10-minute break and we can finish early, I'm all for that. And I'm one of those Saturdays. I'm the last one. So I'm all for cutting it shorter if we can cut it shorter for y'all. Okay?
Awesome.
I appreciate y'all. What'd you learn today? Give me a few ahas before we hang up. Been typing.
Always be closing.
Always be closing. There you go. Another one.
10 showings a day.
10 showings a day. There you go. Preview.
We're in the lead generation business.
There you go. Somebody else typed that, Donnie, just when you said that.
Scripts are good.
Scripts are good. Absolutely.
I have a lot of money in our phone.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kieran.
So we have a lot of money in our phone.
You have a lot of money in your phone. Absolutely. Even if you only got $6,000 out of that phone right away, that's a lot of money. I'd call through all your phones for $6 grand, right? Good job. All right, everybody, pleasure to meet you. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited to come back in 3 weeks and see how y'all ended up. 3 pieces of business before we close out, right? That's your Christmas gift to yourself, 3 new pieces of business. So I'll expect that from all of you in 3 weeks. Go get them. Nikita, you can come to the office and pick up your book.
Screenshots.
Oh, damn it.
It's okay.
Are you still on the phone? Screenshots, smile.
Hey, Susan, are there more books up there for tomorrow?
I don't know.
Enid?
Enid, yes, we have books. I think we have books. Call the office first and ask for Lori. She should be back tomorrow and she can have them. If not, we'll print you up a couple sessions and then we'll order some more.
Okay.
Susan, I'm sorry. Page 65, I had connection issues. What about page 65? I'm sorry.
Talk to your family member.
Oh, that was your commitment to talk to your family member.
Page 65? I don't see a page 65. Not in this first part.
In section 1, you don't have a page 65?
Page 65 is the action plan.
No, mine stops at page 40 for section. Oh, I'm in section 2, Dodo Bird.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I got it. Thank you all. Bye. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye.